DNI Tulsi Gabbard says that she can confirm the Russiagate conspiracy was created by the Obama administration, and she has the papers to prove it. She's delivered them to the Trump Justice Department. So we will see where that goes, and we'll talk about that tonight. Donald Trump is suing the Wall Street Journal because of the Epstein, comic book? Maybe you'd call it. So we'll talk about that. Colbert is out at CBS, and the Dems are saying that it is foul play, and it doesn't have anything to do with losing $40 million a year. Puerto Rico bans sex changes for people under 21, so we'll get into that. And the Pacific Northwest is crazy like a fox still. Washington has said that they have a policy that that bans CPS from taking kids from drug-using parents, and it is now linked to an increase in child mortality rates. So we'll talk about that. But before we do, we have an announcement. The Culture War podcast momentarily was not going to happen in D.C. at the Comedy Loft, but now it's back on. Apparently there was some leftists that were making a big stink, and they called up the comedy club and they said, we don't like this. And someone at the comedy club said, oh, we're scared. And then the owner said, BS, it's happening. So all of the dates are still happening. You can go to, what's the website to get it at? Comedyloft.com. You can get tickets there. And what's that? DCComedyLoft.com. You can get your tickets for the Culture War Live there. And also, we want you to go and buy some coffee. Castbrew.com. You can get Josie's signature blend, 1776. Josie's special blend. It's a creamy coffee, I guess. American cream. I'm not sure exactly what it tastes like because I haven't tried it yet. But you can also get Ian's Graphene Dream, which is the most popular coffee that we sell. You can still get them in regular, and you can also get the K-Cups. You can get the... Is there still some Alex Stein Primetime Grind? Oh, no, wait, no. It's sold out. I'm sorry.
Oh, is it sold out?
It's a drag.
Damn.
You can get some of the 2 Weeks Till Christmas, which is my blend. Go on over to castbrew.com and check that out. And now... But before you, so smash the like button, share the show with your friends, tell everyone you know. Joining us tonight to talk about this and all sorts of other things, we've got Alex Stein.
The pimp on a blimp, guys, and I just flew here, and I got kicked off my Southwest Airlines flight for wearing this hat. I don't know why. They all looked at me weird. I was just eating Burger King.
If you show up with a hat, has anyone ever tried that? Have you tried to get onto a plane with that?
Yeah, I did, and I got kicked off, and I'm not allowed to fly Southwest anymore. So, yes, this hat and the culture that one man created, I don't agree with it, but it's, you can't fight culture. It just wins in the end. So, thank you for having me. It's great, actually, that Tim's not here, because you know why I like it? Because when the cat's away.
You can't do that in here.
The mice can play. Yeah, Tim hates smoking. Yeah,
do that.
I'm going to just smoke the whole show. Yeah.
No, you have to stop. Listen, I'm going to point a gun at you.
Tim's not here. Is Tim going to come get me?
This is crazy.
All right, let's start the show. I'm feeling
6'7" Kevin is here. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, y'all? Grateful to be here. I don't have a Burger King hat with me, but
hopefully you don't have a vape either.
Actually, no.
Good Lord. So, what are you? What do you do?
I'm a documentary filmmaker. Worked with Tim and the guys here to make Sin Frontera, coming out Monday live on Tim Pool's Rumble channel.
We're gonna show a little clip of that tonight, right?
Hey, yeah, stay for the whole show to see the trailer for that coming up.
Ian is here.
What's up, brother?
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
Tell everybody who you are, Ian.
Well, I'm Ian Crossland. I'm an avid reader, internet connoisseur. I was thinking today, like, what causes subatomic spin? And I kept trying to figure it out, and I think it might be cymatics. Like the vibration of the space-time is causing the shape of subatomosis to appear in a position, then it changes the frequency, it appears in a different position, changes it again, appears again, then it changes it back to where it started. So the scientific community thinks it's spinning, it's just alternating position, and then that causes electrons and protons to form.
Sick.
Yeah.
Carter's here.
Cymatics in action. Is a line from the Trash House sessions that I recorded with you, Ian. I have all of your songs just stuck in my head perpetually now. A lot of good ones.
We got to push those out.
No, seriously, we do.
More, yep.
But yeah, I'm Carter Banks. I do all the music here at Timcast and Trash House Records, and I'm pumped to be hanging out with you all tonight.
All right. Well, we'll get right into it then. From Real Clear Investigations, exclusive secret meetings open document floodgates on Trump-Russia hoax. The floodgates holding back long-buried classified documents exposing government efforts to claim Donald Trump conspired with Vladimir Putin to manipulate the 2016 U.S. presidential election might finally be opening. Trump administration officials held an urgent meeting Sunday to discuss new information on Russiagate, which they might use to build a criminal conspiracy case against Obama and Biden administrations. Political appointees who allegedly weaponized the government against Trump, two Trump administration officials told Real Clear Investigations. The documents are said to contain long classified information, including a secret 200-page congressional audit that reveals details about how an intelligence community assessment on Russia ordered by President Obama after the 2016 election was framed in a way that portrayed Trump as being beholden to the Kremlin. Now, everybody here you may or may not be aware of it, but I believe it was last week, Matt Taibbi wrote on his Substack about how the DOJ, about Comey and Brennan were involved, that there was evidence against them, and now there's investigations into both Comey and Brennan. But I'm wondering if you guys have any kind of take on this. What do you think?
Have you heard of the Brennan kill list?
The strike list?
No, Google Brennan kill list. So John Brennan every Tuesday would make a list of assets. He would go over the CIA, who to kill. I think it was the New York Times wrote about it. It's Brennan kill list. And every Tuesday, they would type in John Brennan kill list Tuesday. It should come up. So every Tuesday, they would submit this list to Obama, and Obama would kill these people. Type in.
So you're talking about the
John Brennan's kill list right here, the New Yorker. So, this talks about, obviously, you probably have to pay for the article, but it talks about how John Brennan would give a list every Tuesday, and Barack Obama would personally oversee and approve who he would kill. So.
Yeah, so I think that's the deposition matrix, formerly known as a kill list. It's a database of information for tracking, capturing, rendering, or killing suspected enemies of the United States. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
So this is the drone strike list that Obama would use.
Well, they would have multiple lists. I mean, they would kill people with drones. They'd kill people all different ways on this list, allegedly the CIA list. And so I would think it's pretty obvious that John Brennan and Obama are corrupt. So, I mean, I definitely want to look into it. A lot of people don't know about this list, but literally this list, allegedly, every Tuesday, there's different names, different assets, and they would go kill the people on this list. So I don't want to be on that list. I mean, who knows who's on that list? Let's see that list.
The deposition matrix, this is where they had the justification for killing Anwar al-Awlaki and for killing whoever was targeted at the wedding that Anwar al-Awlaki's son was at, that ended up with him being killed by drone strikes.
Yeah, but I'm just saying this list, though, is not just big assets. Like, there's small assets on this list. There's all kinds of people on this list. I mean, and who chooses to kill this guy? Because we don't like him? Because they don't give us, a good deal on oil? Like, who gets to choose? Why are we?
Well, apparently it was John Brennan, the president, that were choosing.
That's what I'm saying. So John Brennan gets to decide, we're going to kill this guy. So I don't know. I don't like that our government even has a list like that. I mean, I know I'm being...
update every Tuesday?
Every Tuesday. Literally, it was called... there's that New Yorker, I think, wrote about it, and there's other people who have written about it, but it was every Tuesday that this list would go out, and it would be a new list, be new assets that they would go and kill. And Barack Obama was the guy that would actually directly approve it to John Brennan. So I think they're corrupt. I think if you just look at this article, and you guys can do your own research. I'm not, a conspiracy theorist. This is actual knowledge that has been exposed. So yes, I want them held accountable, and this is why I don't like the war in the Middle East. And you guys probably agree with me. Why are we drone striking weddings? Why are we drone striking Afghani funerals? I mean, it's just because we're killing terrorists, because that protects us.
To my knowledge, there haven't been really a lot of drone strikes as of late.
Not as of late, but Barack Obama, I think he did a drone strike I think he did enough drone strikes in 8 years. It was like he dropped a drone every 2 hours for 8 years.
Yeah, I've got the stats for that, actually. I just looked this up. This is ridiculous. So 3,000 to 4,000 total deaths from Obama drone strikes, with 300 to 1,000 civilian deaths.
Mm-hmm. And you can multiply that by 3. It's like a girl's body count. You know what I mean? If they tell you they banged 5 guys, they banged 50 guys. And that's the same thing. If the CIA tells you they killed 3,000, they probably killed 30,000.
Dude, and that's out of 563 drone strikes. That's a ton of drone strikes to okay. That's crazy.
Yeah. So,
So, but back to the home front here. The idea that CIA and the Obama administration, including the FBI, was fabricating information about foreign collusion by Donald Trump, by the elected president, because a lot of if I understand correctly, the information that Tulsi Gabbard had put up, it's all on her X account, but she was talking about in December. So Donald Trump had been elected. And at that point, they were saying, so on December 8th, 2016, IC officials prepared an assessment for the president's daily brief, finding that Russia did not impact recent U.S. election results by conducting cyber attacks on infrastructure. Before it could reach the president, it was abruptly pulled based on new guidance. This key intelligence assessment was never published. Now, it's based on guidance. That's not based on evidence that was found or new intelligence. It was guidance from the higher-ups in the CIA, I suppose. So this is after Donald Trump had already won the election. So it's the outgoing president trying to implicate the incoming administration in, fixing the election. I mean, that's something that everybody in the United States should have a problem with.
Yeah, but I mean, now, don't we not even care anymore? I mean, do we really care anymore about Russia hoax? Like, I feel like everybody knows it was BS. Donald Trump won the second election. And now going back, I think that we would all say, and you guys might not agree, that it was good that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. So
that's not, we're not talking about.
I know we're talking about 2016 and how the Russian collusion and how it's all fake, but we know that it's fake. Is anybody going to be held accountable? I doubt it.
Well, I mean, like I said, last week, or maybe the week before, both Comey and Brennan are under investigation. So an actual investigation by the Justice Department now with this information, it's completely reasonable to think that they might be actually, brought before a court or something might actually happen. I understand, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, nothing ever happens. And that's even to the point that it's a meme now. But still, if they're investigating and there's this evidence that DNI Gabbard has delivered to the DOJ, because at the end of this tweet thread, she says, "I'm providing all documents to the Department of Justice to deliver the accountability that President Trump, his family, and the American people deserve." So she's delivering this information. They've already started the investigations into those two guys without this information. So this going to them, I would assume that it is more than just a fart in the wind.
Well, does Comey get a pass, though? Because I think that in 2016, him saying that he would investigate Hillary Clinton arguably won Donald Trump the election. So I don't know if he meant to do that, but I think Donald Trump almost kind of owes James Comey one. Do you think he'll give him a pardon on this deal? I don't know. I think he would. I think Comey will get off. I just personally don't think anybody in the FBI will actually tell on themselves like this. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Tulsi Gabbard does this. I just have no hope of the FBI investigating itself or the CIA investigating itself. So
I feel like this is one of the things that the Trump administration has tried to do since it got into office again, has been trying to, cleave apart the deep state and go after the entrenched bureaucrats. And I think that this might be an actual significant part of it.
Yeah, it seems like they're starting from the very beginning when they're finally in there and they're like, okay, well, we can at least start with this from 2016 and start piecing together what we could possibly do about this situation. So it's like better than nothing.
Yeah, I mean, and there, to another point, there's a lot of people that are complaining, pretty regularly. Oh, I want to see arrests. What's Donald Trump doing? What's Donald Trump doing, et cetera. And Kash Patel and Dan Bongino have said, hey, look, we're working behind the scenes. We can't tell you guys what's going on, and we can't arrest people or make arrests without actually having tangible evidence that we could actually, take action on, because you don't want to arrest people and not have something to actually prosecute, not be sure that you have a legitimate chance of actually being successful. I mean, the government's 95% of their prosecutions they end up convicting, come to a conviction. So they want. I think
it's higher than 95%. We're going to go back and we're going to investigate this, and obviously they colluded, and I think there's a lot of people that were involved in the collusion in 2016 and the Russiagate stuff. But I wish that Donald Trump would actually use his resources to investigate whether Michelle Obama has a penis or not. You know what I mean? Like I'm sick and tired. Like, we know about Russia stuff. I want to know about this conspiracy stuff. And on a serious note, obviously Michelle Obama, whether she has one or not, there is other stuff I think that is more important to go after than just James Comey. So I don't know. Look at, you said Maureen Comey lost her job in the Puff Daddy trial. I think that was, she purposely did that. She purposely lost that case. I think there's a big conspiracy there. So Puff Daddy would walk, because I think Puff Daddy is connected to the same people that Jeffrey Epstein is connected to, and that they...
I disagree.
You don't think so?
The reason I disagree is I think that the people that Puff Daddy is mostly connected to are multi-millionaires. The people that Epstein is dealing with are multi-billionaires, and that is a world of it is
would argue
as
that-
different from me to multi-billionaires.
I would argue that those people are financially more powerful, but I would say culturally the people that Puff Daddy did are more popular, in general. So they could be used for even more leverage because they're actually outspoken. Like a celebrity is more important than the secret billionaire.
Who was implicated in the Puff Daddy stuff?
Well, Jay-Z, Beyonce, allegedly, and then they had to sue a bunch of people. I mean, this is allegedly. I'm not saying Jay-Z was doing that, but, he had to sue a bunch of people for, accusing him of being at these parties. So I do think, even though they might not have been as financially powerful, they were powerful in a different way, to try to, if you have leverage on a person like Michael Jackson or a person like R. Kelly or something like that, I think that is very powerful. Like their message goes a lot farther than billionaire who nobody knows their name.
It kind of makes me think that, like you said, should be focusing on maybe something more important than the Comey thing. Now, firstly, if they did collude,
But are
bring it to justice.
You saying that they should be focusing on something more important?
Well, that's what Alex was insinuated, that why is the government focusing on this thing? It seems like it's almost irrelevant. And it does feel like they're trying to throw people off the Epstein case and make them think about something new. Like they're like, oh shit, Epstein, and like Trump doesn't want to be involved, doesn't want to be near the name. And he's like, just hit Comey. Go for Comey.
I think you all got Epstein on the brain.
Yeah, well, how could we not? I mean, that's the only thing. We want this damn list. I mean, I can see the influencers are like, well, we have bigger fish to fry than the Epstein list, but I've been passionate about this since 2016, and the Epstein list was one of the reasons that I started liking Donald Trump, because he was opposite of Hillary, who Bill Clinton was on this plane doing God knows what. So it's something that
Donald Trump isn't implicated in being on the plane.
He was on the plane, but I do think that Bill Clinton getting, oral sex from Monica Lewinsky and maybe doing more in the Oval Office, I think maybe Donald Trump's a dog. He likes to bang them. I'm sure he does. But I think Bill Clinton's even more of a sexual pervert, and I think he's more of a sexual degenerate, and I think that he is more than likely guilty.
More than Epstein?
Well, no, Bill Clinton and Epstein are probably the same. Epstein, I don't even know. I don't want to say this on YouTube. I don't want to get it strict. But supposedly Epstein had I was just listening to Tucker talk about this, was obsessed with girls with braces.
I was just
thinking, I'm just saying, that's
I was thinking that. I'm like, but Bill Clinton. I was like, Bill Clinton.
So Epstein's the sickest, but Bill Clinton, I think, is a close. He's a dog too. But the sickest of them all is Jimmy Savile. That's the person we're not talking about. That's a guy that was host of Top of the Pops. He was knighted by the Queen. He was best friends with Prince Charles. And then after his death, it came out that he was a porter at the Royal Children's Hospital, and that he allegedly would go into the morgue and he would take bodies and they would take them on boats and they would do SRA, satanic ritualistic abuse, and they would do rituals with the dead bodies. And Jimmy Savile laid the groundwork for these, elite pedophiles doing, weird rituals with children.
I get that, the Epstein stuff is very hot right now, and there's a lot of people that want to talk about it. You don't think that the possibility of finding out that the Obama administration, including former President Obama, were involved in trying to basically do a coup to an incoming president.
I think we already know that. I mean,
right,
they're already guilty.
like,
what are we going to arrest Barack Obama? You think they're?
We all know that Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile. You just
that's true, but I just don't think they're going to arrest Barack Obama. I don't think they're going to arrest James Comey. I don't think John Brennan. If John Brennan had a list where he could just kill people,
Epstein's dead. They're not arresting him again.
Yeah, but there's people that are alive that are still on the list. You know what I mean?
But they did arrest Epstein because they finally got the paperwork finished. So maybe this is the beginning of that. Of like going after for the 2016 stuff, the Russiagate.
Oh, okay, going after the Obama administration.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's not important. I'm worried. I love Cash. I'm friends, with Cash Patel. He's helped me out, but I just do not trust the FBI to investigate itself. I mean, call me black-pilled or whatever. So I don't know. We have a system of justice, but it's not very just. So I don't think it's like the MAGA granny is going to get 6 years in jail, but James Comey is probably not going to get 5 minutes.
Take that thought and apply it to the Epstein stuff. If you don't trust the FBI to investigate itself, and the evidence that DNI Gabbard has prevented him.
I think raping a child is worse than whatever James Comey.
But why would the FBI investigate that if they wouldn't investigate?
Well, the FBI didn't really investigate that very well, did they?
Then why? So do you think that there's more of a chance that stuff will come out about the Epstein stuff?
I think it's a possibility, but I was arguing with James O'Keefe about this. He says that it's going to come out sooner. I think it'll probably all come out after we're dead. That's when the list will come out. It's like how 9/11, there's 28 pages redacted that they're not going to give us. So they give us a 9/11 commission report, but literally 28 pages are redacted. So they give us a binder, but it's full of a bunch of bullcrap we already know.
That was So the binder was just the
worst
stunt.
But why even give us the binder if there's not going to be a phase 2?
No
Why
idea.
put phase 1?
No
Phases, there's multiple phases. So.
Yeah, it was the dumbest thing. That was literally the dumbest thing that the Trump administration has done, bar none. That was the worst thing they've done.
And people have attacked the influencers, but I'm actually empathetic to them because
They didn't know.
They didn't know. And any of us, if they invited me to the White House and they handed me a binder, I'd be like, "This is cool. This is Epstein list." I mean, I don't, you know.
Well, that's part of why it was so bad, because they embarrassed people that had been such staunch supporters of the administration.
What was the actual point of that?
There was literally none. That's the
Had to be
problem.
some reason they did that.
To try to, I guess, appease us in some sort of way. And I think people that are, this is the thing, most people are low IQ voters and don't even know who JD Vance is. But that's the difference between us and the left. Conservatives are actually paying a little more attention, so we're not as dumb as the left. So I think that's why they weren't able to trick us with this, and that's why there's still people that are influential on the right calling out the Trump administration, saying, where's the transparency that you guys campaigned on?
Yeah, well, I think you made a good point. It's going to come out when we die, because the JFK files, there's a lot more stuff in there because everybody was dead from it.
Yeah.
So that's when they come out with the good stuff. But are they going to actually arrest Obama for this? Does anybody think that's actually going to happen?
Think it's going to happen. I probably would say no. I don't think it's going to happen.
Should it happen? Yes.
Completely
Should it happen?
It's totally and completely within the realm of possibility.
Ordinarily, I would agree and say like it could never happen, but then we had Trump arrested.
But that's part of the thing. It's like that kind of seal has been broken on arresting presidents. So, and it is without a question that if the things that are being that the Obama administration has been implicated on, the alleged behaviors that Tulsi Gabbard says that she's delivered the information to the Justice Department, if that actually did happen, that is without question enough to put Barack Obama in jail.
Oh, for sure.
Far worse. It's far worse than anything Trump did. Trump, they had to literally create, they had to create a whole list or a whole fake crime so that way the misdemeanors could be brought to the level of felonies.
Luckily for Barack Obama, he used to write letters to his ex-lover that he fantasized about having gay relations. So in prison, he would probably do very well. Maybe his fantasies would come true. He wrote that letter for a reason. So if he went to jail, it probably wouldn't be that bad. He'd probably be the king of the jail. He'd be the president of the jail. So, and he's an African-American. Statistically, they do go to jail more. So actually, you're right. Barack Obama is for prison. He's
Dude, if
done.
he got a mugshot, it would be a third term for Obama.
I know. Actually, you're probably not wrong. Could you imagine if he had the same kind of Trump mugshot shirt?
Yeah. With
Because
the same
nobody's ever
attitude.
competed with merch. Like Biden, Andrew Schultz jokes about it, didn't sell any merch. Trump sold so much merch, but we're forgetting Obama sold a bunch of merch.
That's true.
Obama
invented a type of merch.
Dude, he invented the Obama shirt.
Right.
I mean, dude, so
style.
if you had merch for merch and you had a merch booth of Barack Obama, mugshot shirts and Donald Trump mugshot shirts, I don't know. I bet it'd be closer than you think.
Do you think that that's because the now modern America wants a celebrity president? People would say that Donald Trump is the first celebrity president.
is.
Nah,
Reagan.
I disagree. I think that it's not Reagan. I think that it was Barack Obama. That was the first, because he would do slow jam the news on the nightly shows. People loved Barack.
You are right. When I was in
Teddy
college,
Kennedy.
Teddy Roosevelt. Is it just too early for celebrities to even exist?
Teddy Roosevelt.
Pre-television?
Well, they had
Yeah.
Teddy Bear off of him.
So you're talking about post-television era?
Well, no, I mean just the first one to actually be considered a celebrity. Because even like there's an argument that Bill Clinton, when he went on MTV and played the sax, that was like the first.
Okay, so
kind
like
of putting
president
your
first,
toe
then
in.
they become a celebrity because they're the president.
Well, I mean, Donald Trump is the first person that was a celebrity first, but
Right.
I think that Barack Obama became a celebrity as he became president, because he was literally, he's the junior senator from Illinois, and then he gets catapulted into
He had great style.
like Reagan was a B-list celebrity, but an actor, but he wasn't like Trump.
I don't think he was B-list.
Trump. I was told he was a B-list actor.
I think it's people that were critical of him that were calling him a B-list.
really?
I think he was a pretty hot, hot commodity.
Nothing compared to Trump. And like you said, Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, superstar, dated Marilyn Monroe, or he had Marilyn Monroe in the White House.
I think he was probably the first. I'm asking Grok right now. It says Reagan, Grok says, for the first celebrity president.
He was pretty famous.
I would still argue, I would debate this all day long, that it is technically Donald Trump, even though because every president you could say is a celebrity, because Donald Trump had The Apprentice, was like #1 reality show. Like he was actually had a whole career just doing celebrity TV. and then went to politics. I don't know. I think I would say that if The Rock became president, that Donald Trump is more like The Rock than Barack Obama.
Yeah,
so.
He's a rich entertainer.
Yes,
as opposed to a politician.
And that's why I hope. I mean this. I pray. I don't pray for a lot. I do pray, but I do pray that Tucker Carlson runs for president. I think Tucker has a big chance of winning, and I know some people might not like that, but I hope Tucker runs
in 2028.
I think he'll be the next celebrity president. I don't know if he'll run in 2028. And I've actually talked to him. I've asked him. He says he has no interest in politics. He said that to me twice.
You think JD has what it takes?
I think they're going to put him up. I mean, I like JD Vance. Some stuff. He was just on Theo Vaughn's podcast, a couple months ago. Oh, Epstein list. He's not talking about the Epstein list anymore. So, I don't know. I mean, I like JD Vance, but I mean,
he doesn't have the celebrity power that
he doesn't have the swag. Him running at Disneyland, he didn't have the swag. He needs to have
He's the kind of guy we need, though. Somebody that came from a poor upbringing, that isn't a rich kid. I think that's what Americans have wanted for so long.
It might be time to not revert, but to go away from the celebrity obsession into a bureaucrat, not a bureaucrat, but a math guy.
This is where I disagree, though. JD Vance is he's Ivy League school guy, though. I mean, he gives us I'm a hillbilly. I'm just a hillbilly. But he named his son Vivek after Vivek Ramaswamy, his best friend.
Addict. He had a terrible
no, but a lot of people's moms are drug addicts. A lot of people have drug addicts.
That's true. His son's name is Vivek?
Yeah, he named his son. JD Vance named his son after his best friend Vivek from law school, and that they've been friends. Isn't that a weird?
That is weird.
Dude, look it up right now. Look it up. Yes, Vivek is JD Vance named his son after Vivek Ramaswamy.
And JD is super tight with Peter Thiel, I'm hearing. Thiel was investing in his company. Is that what it was?
And then listen to this. I got in trouble for this. That Augustus Dorico guy, the guy that's doing the Rainmaker guy. So I said one tweet. That guy went on every single podcast after those 27 kids, those poor children drowned. Went on all these podcasts talking about, his company had nothing to do with it. 48 hours. And I'm sure his company had nothing to do with it. But I did one tweet where I was like, this guy's going on a media tour, is not showing any remorse. Dude, Peter Thiel had people contact me, multiple people at my company, multiple people that I know, had 10 different people, and I've gone after Nikki Haley, I've gone after some high powerful people, and me going after Augustus Dorico got Peter Thiel involved and they've just because of one tweet. This is less than 2 weeks old.
This is about the cloud seeding.
This is about the cloud seeding, about the horrible floods that happened in Kerrville, Texas, where over 100 people died and 27 girls at a Christian camp, Camp Mystic, that had been there 99 years. And on top of this, they were arguing with me about it. They're like, actually, in 1987, there was a really bad flood too, but that flood was 15 feet. Well, this one was 26 feet, and this one happened in 90 minutes. And I do not like people manipulating the weather. Call me old school, call me old fashioned, but guys going on podcasts we need to manipulate the weather because these farmers don't have enough water. It's okay, all right, I don't want you spraying silver iodine in the sky. And they're like, well, we can only create this many gallons of water. It's okay, sure, you can just pinpoint it. So my point is, Peter Thiel is evil. He's a sicko. Don't like you, Peter Thiel, trying to get me fired.
All right, so listen, so we are of the opinion that Barack Obama and his DOJ and CIA cohorts are not going to be arrested.
I don't know.
Probably not. They do deserve a perp walk.
But it's like the court of public opinion at this point. If the world starts dragging them emotionally, that's probably the victory that I think you're going to get out of it.
All right, so we're going to move on now to this story. The Daily Mail reports Donald Trump delivers on promise to sue the Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch over Epstein birthday card. So we have more Epstein for you guys. More Epstein.
I'm so glad.
Discussion.
More lawsuits.
I'm dying. I'm so.
Well, what did you think about that fake letter, though?
That's exactly what he's talking
I'm just saying,
about.
What do you think about that? Who do you think that's real?
It is the most nothingest of nothing burgers ever created.
Tell me, what is it?
Okay, so it's like this weird.
You don't even know what it is.
No, this is the first I heard of it.
So they wrote it. The Wall Street Journal said that they had this, smoking gun of incriminating Donald Trump and his connection with Jeffrey Epstein. And what it was a personal letter written to Jeffrey Epstein on his 50th birthday, which was in 2003. And supposedly Donald Trump ended his relationship with him in 2008 when he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago, allegedly. But long story short, the poem's very cringe and it's very weird.
It's all.
And the end of the poem, though, is the weirdest. It's I hope every day is a new wonderful secret.
It's just all. All right, so listen, let me read the headline here. Donald Trump delivers on promise to sue Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch over Epstein birthday card. Donald Trump followed through on his promise to sue the Wall Street Journal and its owner, Rupert Murdoch, after the paper reported on his alleged involvement with a 50th birthday card to Jeffrey Epstein. Court records show the libel suit filed in the Southern District of Florida against Wall Street Journal, Dow Jones, and Rupert Murdoch, CNBC reported. A copy of the complaint was not immediately available. The case was filed in Miami federal court. A bombshell report in the Wall Street Journal on Thursday claimed Trump wrote a bawdy 50th birthday card to Epstein, which it concluded, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." The newspaper said it had reviewed a typewritten letter bearing Trump's signature, framed by the seemingly hand-drawn outline of a naked woman that Ghislaine Maxwell included in a 2003 birthday album. Even if Donald Trump wrote that, which I don't think that he actually wrote the card. If you actually read, I don't think that he dictated it. I don't think he had anything to do with the actual writing of the stuff in it. But even if he did, it is still a nothing burger. It still doesn't do anything. Everyone knows that Donald Trump and Epstein were friends until 2005 or 6 or whatever when he kicked them out of Mar-a-Lago. This is nothing new. And the only reason that the Wall Street Journal is going with this is because that it is Epstein and Trump, and it will get clicks. This is a gigantic nothing.
Did Trump deny that?
Yeah, he said
That's
no.
why he's suing, because he denied it.
But Daily Mail didn't mention the weirdest part is when he wrote on the drawing where he put his name Donald was in the pubic area of the.
Yeah, I heard that,
Yeah,
but I can't
so-
find the picture.
Yeah, I know. So
where's
I
the
just don't
picture?
think Donald's doing that. I don't think Donald's drawing a naked woman and writing Donald on the vaginal area of it. I mean, I could
a
be
doodler.
wrong. I know Donald's
grab her by the.
I know, but I mean,
There are
you know,
people. So that people, he was swearing up and down that he doesn't draw, and there's something people have said that. But there's also a bunch of pictures that he actually did draw of New York skyline or sky.
oh wait, so there
skyline.
is art.
Yeah, there is.
Art?
Yeah, I mean, look, it is
Oh.
the most, second, third grade,
Elementary.
most elementary
Stick
kind
figures.
of drawings you can imagine. Of course, Donald Trump says, "I've never drawn anything. I've never held a crayon or a pen. I've never done it."
I only
but
use
that's
glue.
that's typical Donald Trump stuff. But there are these pictures that he's alleged to have drawn that he signed, and he sells them, or people sell them. They're going for $20,000-$30,000 on eBay or whatever. But still, to me, this is just like this is absolutely nothing, because there's no allegations except for, hey, Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein used to be friends. And there's a million pictures of Donald Trump and Jeffrey
A
Epstein.
lot of the Epstein stuff is relatively nothing. Like they say the word pedophile. Pedo, from what I learned yesterday, indicates prepubescent. So a lot of this Epstein stuff's not pedophilia. It's like girls that are 15 or 16.
There was a lot of pedophilia because Jean-Luc Brunel, we can only say so much, that Jeffrey Epstein's biggest sexual conquest that he would brag about, allegedly, was that he slept with 3 triplets that were 11 years old.
That is when it goes vile, where it's like erratic, like that. You need to.
He would brag about that.
That's pedophilia. It's grossest. The young children, you protect that. When it's 15, 16-year-old girls who are age of consent in in a lot of the world.
I don't know,
Maybe not in
yeah.
certain areas.
I'm gonna, Ian, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you're
save
slippery
you.
slope, yeah,
I'm
we're
saying
gonna-
that I'm stopping you because I'm saving you.
People,
no
they
one
don't
wants
want to
hear.
conflate. You don't want to
No one-
conflate real disgusting pedophilia.
That train has left
With the guy that got a
building.
massage and a hand
I'm
job
trying
from
to
a
help.
17-year-old,
I'm
man.
trying
You
to
know.
help you. I'm trying to help you.
Don't cut me off.
That train has left the point that I'm making is that train has left the building. Most people are aware of the distinction, but it is a distinction without a difference in most people's minds.
What I'm saying is if Donald Trump got a hand job from a 15-year-old and he thought she was 18, that's a big difference than having sex with a 6-year-old.
Is it a big difference or it's just a difference? I don't know.
It is a completely different reality to get rubbed down by a girl that you think is 18 that's 16, or going after a 9-year-old. Like, it's not
I
the
agree.
same thing.
I agree, but there's two different things. It's like one, if you're being misled, you think somebody's of age like that, you're being tricked. I mean, you're a victim, I guess you could say in that case. But still, a 16-year-old is still,
Ian,
it's still bad.
Problem
Depends on what state you're in or
when
what
it
country.
comes to that kind of stuff, right? Whether you're a 16-year-old or an 11-year-old, the actual problem is the power differential from an adult male, right? Allegedly upwards of 30 or whatever. I don't know how old Donald, 40s or whatever. If a male that's in his 40s is going to a girl that's 16 or a girl that's 11, it is just as abusive. It is every
In the
bit.
court
It
of
is
public
every
opinion.
bit as abuse. No, I mean even in reality.
In reality, I'm just saying. You know,
It is every bit as abusive for a man who's in his 40s to go after a 16-year-old or a 13-year-old, it is just as bad.
I'm not going to agree with that because age of consent. I look up age of consent 14. It's in a lot of countries
yeah, but do
in
you
the
know
world.
why?
I think. Wait. Real quick. Let's have this conversation.
Hold on. The reason age of consent is like 16 or 15 or whatever is so that way a young man that's 17 or 18 that has sex with a 15-year-old doesn't get his life ruined. Okay,
I think it's so that 4-year-old men can marry young women.
No,
and,
it's at
from
least
like
not
the
in
Middle
United,
Ages.
Not in the United States. In the
girls.
United States, the reason that they have age of consent laws is so that way young men that are, like I said, 18, maybe 19, dating a 16-year-old, it's not so bad if an 18-year-old is dating a 16-year-old. But legally, because of 18, you could say, oh, this person has their life ruined, right? But it's not. So that way a 40-year-old man can have sex with a 15-year-old. That is not what age of consent laws are for. Maybe that does prevent some people that are actually abusing the power difference here from going to jail. But the point isn't to allow adult men to have sex with teenage women. That is 100% the truth. I promise you. The intent of age.
Are you arguing that it's not illegal? Or are you saying it is illegal for a 40-year-old man to have sex with a 16-year-old?
I'm saying it is immoral and in the mind of the average person.
Okay, it's immoral. You're not. So it is legal, is what you're saying. If the age of consent is 16 and a 40-year-old man has sex with her, it's legal.
It probably would be considered legal, yes, but that's not something that that people are going to say is acceptable.
Oh, that's fine. That's another argument. I'm just saying it's not like it's a different prepubescent humans are different. It's a different thing. So that's just an important nuance, man.
It's not an important nuance because the question on people's minds, the problem that people have is the abusive nature of an adult man having sex with a young girl. And so whether or not it is illegal by the law, it is abusive and a power differential between an adult man and a 15-year-old girl. The problem is the abusive nature, not that it's legal or whatever. That's like
it's your opinion, man. I sound like the dude from
we
Lebowski.
can ask the chat.
Well, I can't
Ian
debate
right or
this.
wrong. One is right, two is wrong.
I mean, as a member of the Muslim Brotherhood, I mean, Muhammad did some crazy stuff, so I have to step out of this, kindly.
I guess the reason I bring it up is because I feel like people are fleeing the Epstein. They don't want to be even remotely associated with anything. They're like, I was on an airplane. There was a 17-year-old girl giving me a massage.
RFK was on the plane a bunch too. Now, did you know that? That was kind of bizarre. Did you know that RFK went dinosaur hunting with Jeffrey Epstein allegedly with his family? So maybe there's more people in the Trump administration besides just Trump that would be, could be collateral damage.
Like, I don't want people to think they have to start a nuclear war to prevent their name from coming out on a list because they had sex with the girl that was 16 that they thought was 18. Like, that's different than people going after 8-year-olds. That is a different reality.
So if the guy thinks that she's 18, then she's lying. Right, and that actually becomes a different context, right?
Yeah, it was entrapment. A lot of that was entrapment on Epstein.
And that did happen, like on Epstein, where they would like make you do gay stuff if you weren't openly gay, and they could just use that as leverage. And they would do stuff where like you would sleep with somebody and you wouldn't know they were underage. Like they would do something like it would be like a 16-year-olds or 17-year-old, and they would say, oh, she's 19 or 18, and they would get the girl to lie. So that does happen. But if you're on Epstein Island and you're having sex with somebody that looks young, I still think that you should be in trouble. Even if you had sex with a 16-year-old, it's legal. I don't care. I think that's gross and repugnant. But, different strokes, different
To go
folks.
back to the news story, though, I think Trump's going to make a lot of money on this. And I looked this up. It's amazing. He's made $56 million off of settlements already. From ABC, CBS, and Facebook. It's all gone to the Trump Presidential Library. This presidential library is going to be coated in gold by the time he's done with this.
He's been known to do those kind of things. All right, look, I think that it is time to move off of the Epstein topic.
Oh, that sucks, man.
Once and for all.
I'm totally.
It took a turn that I did not expect. It was a little dark.
Dig that feces
Like,
out of there.
Ian, I want to kind of help you a little bit. Like, I do understand what you're trying to say, but at the end of the day, I guess the court of public opinion, even if they slept with a 17-year-old, like it's not going to be, it's not going to be okay.
If this list were released, I think that there are people that would be willing to start a nuclear war to prevent it from getting released. Like these
That's possible.
And I don't want them to be that afraid of getting their name exposed, being associated with Epstein.
What about the conspiracy that nuclear weapons are fake? Have you ever heard that? You know why I don't
Okay,
know?
no, the nuclear weapons are fake.
Listen. Have you ever seen the footage of a
Yes,
nuclear
I know
weapon?
what you're talking
then the
about,
car's
where the car
there, then it's gone.
disappears
Okay,
and
why is the car? Oh, I'm the crazy guy. Yet they're showing me a video with the car disappearing. I'm the crazy guy. You don't think nukes are real?
No,
And then let me
because
tell you-
nuclear,
let me
because
tell you nukes are real.
Nagasaki
Let me tell you-
actually
let me-
happened.
First of all,
And
that was firebombs.
Hiroshima actually
Looking
happened.
at Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they were literally trains were like the next day. The flower carts were there the next day. You can look it up. But if this is how you know nuclear bombs are not real, because if nuclear bombs are real, Israel would have already dropped one, dude. You don't think Israel would have used it?
All right,
I mean,
we're going. Yes, you are. We're going to the next story. From the Guardian. Democrats condemn CBS for axing the Colbert Show. People deserve to know if this is politically motivated. Lawmakers note cancellation followed Colbert's criticism of parent company Paramount for settling the Trump suit. Democrats are condemning CBS for its recent decision to cancel The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, noting the news comes just a few days after its host criticized the network's parent company, Paramount, for settling a $16 million lawsuit with Donald Trump. Senator Adam Schiff, who everyone knows is totally truthful, a California Democrat who appeared as a guest on the Colbert Show on Thursday night, later wrote on social media, "If Paramount and CBS ended The Late Show for political reasons, the public deserves to know and deserves better." This show, if I understand correctly, costs $100 million per year to run, and they lose $40 million a year.
How? What do they spend it on? That's what I want to know.
Well, 16 on a lawsuit that they lost to Trump.
Well, there you go.
Well, I don't understand how they lost all their money. They have those dancing needles. Pfizer paid them so much money. I mean, I don't know how the hell they lose money, but I guess
you may be making a joke, but I honestly think that a lot of the drug companies were spending a lot of money.
Those are the biggest ad buyers, and that's why in foreign countries in Europe they don't even have advertisements for pharmaceutical companies because it's illegal. And RFK supposedly, outlawing that, not done that yet. But I think there is something here, though. The fact that they're trying to merge with Skydance Media and they just paid Trump that $15 million settlement.
Talk about the Skydance Media thing.
Well, and it has to get approved by Congress, I believe, so it's not a monopoly. I don't know all the legality, but I just know that Donald Trump probably could handicap their chances of making the merger happen. So why not make them happy? And you already have a show that is, Paramount is also seeking approval from the U.S. Federal Communications Commission for an $8.4 billion merger with Skydance Media. Whoa. So that's a huge merger. Paramount's obviously a huge company, and I think that they have a show that's losing $40 million a year, and why not try to appease the president?
Well, I also think that they were using Colbert as political propaganda through the Biden administration. Now he's no longer useful.
You're right about that. Yeah.
So that was one of the things that I said, people that are saying that this is a political attack, right? Like, he has engaged in political attacks for the entire time that Donald Trump has been in public life. Yeah. So I personally don't think that this is about politics. I do think that this is about the fact that ratings are down. These shows have been losing money. There's not a significant viewership to the late night shows. If you look at late night ratings now compared to 10 years ago, it's completely awful. But that's I think that's the major thing. What are you talking about, the Bernie Sanders stuff here? Oh, he's not my boy. Bernie Sanders, the independent Vermont senator, echoed a similar concern. CBS billionaire owners paid Trump $60 million to settle a bogus lawsuit while trying to sell the network to Skydance. He wrote, "Stephen Colbert, an extraordinary talent and the most popular late-night host, slams the deal. Days later, he's fired. No, I do think this is a coincidence. Or do I think this is a coincidence? No. I mean, look, Democrats have absolutely nothing. They're floundering. That's why they're globbing onto the Epstein stuff. That's why they're globbing onto this, because they have no policies, and the people that are making the most noise and getting the most attention in the Democrat Party are literally communists, right? So Zoran Mamdani, there's the guy in Minnesota, I believe, that's that's running for
Somalia pirate.
Somalian guy, yeah, and AOC. I mean, your favorite.
My favorite big booty Latina. Honestly though, AOC is probably now with this new crop of people, she's smart. Like Jasmine Crockett is actually mentally retarded. You know what I mean? I don't know if you ever see her. She's like ill in the head. So compared to AOC, she's actually pretty smart.
Jasmine. So this is something that Tim actually pointed out. Jasmine Crockett is not stupid, and the reason
She went to law school. She's like has a brain.
But she goes, and there are old videos of her, and she doesn't sound as ratchet as she sounds.
Yeah,
nowadays.
it's called code switching. She's talking like,
But do you think that she's actually dumb though?
I do think that she's actually not that smart because she's a woman, one, and women aren't as smart as men. Two, she's like, trying to just she doesn't this is the difference between her and AOC. AOC is crazy, but I believe that she's more genuine in her thoughts. Jasmine Crockett, if her being conservative would help her politically, I guarantee she'd become conservative.
You think so?
Jasmine Crockett, she has no integrity. I think there's the amount of integrity in AOC is a lot more than Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett she's just a politician that's about self-preservation, and she'll say anything and go after Marjorie Taylor Greene, just like Marjorie goes after her for clicks. So I think she just has no integrity.
So
she's not even from Texas. That's what makes me mad. Is I actually have an office in her district. She's from like Kansas City or something, like Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, I think. So I don't know. I don't like
carpetbagger.
Exactly. I don't like some carpetbagger coming in my house with a bad weave and fake eyelashes and talking a bunch of smack about Donald Trump. So
do you think that if she were to be, say, she came out as a Republican, right?
The Republicans would have accepted her, right? Like,
we
love her, yeah,
that's what I think.
Right away. Yeah.
That's what I assume. It's like she kind of breaks the mold of what a typical Republican.
She'd be the keynote speaker at CPAC the next week. Yeah, for sure they'd accept, because that's the other thing is people want to call conservatives racist, but conservatives go out of their way to help black people and women, which is there's nothing wrong with that. Like I joke about women. Women obviously are smart. We should help them, but I'm telling you, all the accusations that the left make about the right, they actually do. They're the ones that actually discriminate people based on color. If you're a black conservative, I think that conservatives want to lift you up more.
Yeah, I mean that's honestly my sense too. That's why I question whether or not she's actually being disingenuous. Because if she were really just power hungry and after accolades and stuff, a black woman like her actually would get more in the Republican Party than she does in the Democrat Party. Isn't that kind of the argument?
Well, I feel like all the stuff she talks about though. I don't even know really a lot of her policies. I just know that she doesn't like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I know that she doesn't like Trump. So politically, I don't even know how. Is she a socialist? I don't know. I mean,
I don't know what her policies are.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. And she's my congresswoman. I don't even know what her policies are. So I feel like she doesn't care about actually getting like legislation passed. She just cares about getting clicks on the internet. And that's why she doesn't have integrity, is another reason. That she doesn't actually care about getting anything accomplished. But I think all congressmen, you guys have them on here all the time. I talk to them too. They all have the best intentions, but once they get up there, they can't get shit done. So it's like, I mean, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Like if you try really hard, you don't get it passed and you waste your time. If you just kind of skate through, then you're not doing enough. So I don't know. I don't like any of the elected politicians, even a lot of them on the right side.
Man, I was thinking that yesterday about Cash. And like he comes on this show, I hang out with him for 4 hours. He's super cool. And then I'm like, all right. He's like, all right, I'm going in. I'm like, I'll see you on the other side, man. And off into Mount Doom they go. He and Trump and Bungie, they all like go into this world where they're going to get twisted and ripped apart and remade with this satanic dark energy of government where you got to do damage control and decide who's going to live and who's going to die. And then they come out all gray hair. And it's just it's hard to see people I like go through that, but it's this necessary evil of being in that environment. That's sort of a tangent off of what you're saying.
It's the Bill Hicks joke that, like when a president gets elected, they bring him to a room and they show them, I'm not doing the joke right, but they show them a film of JFK's assassination, but not the Zapruder film, like a different angle. And they tell the president, they show him the video, like, do you have any questions? And the president's like, no, I have no questions. So once you get into that office, you do have to play ball. Even Donald Trump has to play ball on some stuff.
For sure.
I
think so, yeah.
Do you have a sense that the average politician, so just to make it clear, my kind of gut instinct, because I don't have any kind of inside information, is Congress people don't get that kind of pressure.
No.
They might get a knock on their door from AIPAC. Actually, I'm sure they get
Multiple knocks.
Yeah, a bunch of people from AIPAC knocking on the door. But other than that, that's probably the most pressure they get. I think that it's the bureaucrats and the actual president that would get.
Or or there's aliens that come down and they say, we're abducting the children. Stop talking about the Epstein list. That's us, and we're doing interdimensional sex trafficking.
Maybe.
Is that?
That's a very mainstream theory. So
That's a very mainstream. Is it a mainstream theory?
Interdimensional sex trafficking. I like that.
Okay.
Alex Jones talks about it a lot on the Joe Rogan Experience. But I do think there are probably some sort of like weird interdimensional beings, though. I know that sounds crazy. I don't know how connected they are to the Epstein list, but like I feel like if there are ghosts or aliens, like it's not that they're traveling from far away; they're just in a different dimension here on Earth.
Well, I asked a Twitter poll: did the ghost of Epstein destroy the spirit of Donald Trump? It's a 50-50 split on the poll. Do you like the spirit of Epstein? The ghost of Epstein is still here, present. His spirit is terrorizing people. The memory of it is a bit of a...
Well, you might be right, because I have a dog that barks a lot, and so I got one of these clickers, and you press it, and it's like gives off this high noise, and my dog will stop barking. And it's crazy because I can't hear the noise, but my dog freaks out. And there's wavelengths and sounds that our eyes and ears can't process that are around us every day. Like there's noises that are going on that you and I can't hear, but a dog could hear. So theoretically, like our eyes can't see every whatever wavelength or whatever. There could be people around us right now that we just don't have the ability to see that or hear
like
that.
magnetoreception, where you can see the magnetic field and stuff.
Watch
the distortions of the spirits and things like that.
Isn't that what
check this out, guys. So I just looked this up. Donald Barr, he hired Jeffrey Epstein as a teacher in 1973. He wrote a novel called Space Relations, a slightly gothic interplanetary tale, and it includes interdimensional sex.
Could that be the one
that is
who
Bill
wrote
Barr's
the
father?
letter?
And we know
Donald Barr.
Well,
Could that be the guy who wrote the letter that Trump is suing them because they said he wrote it?
And if we're going to go real crazy,
Birthday.
Donald Trump is a time traveler, and the movie Back to the Future is kind of based off him. Biff becomes a casino host.
Oh, yeah.
And then Baron Trump. Have you seen the Baron Trump
Barron's
novel?
a time traveler.
Well, Baron's a time traveler. It's look at the book. What is it called? It's somebody in the chat will know.
Oh, I remember.
But Baron's time traveling book.
talking
Let me
about?
type it in. It is Baron's.
Heard about the
Yeah.
And then it was Donald Trump's uncle who went to Nikola Tesla. When Nikola Tesla died, this is the conspiracy that when Nikola Tesla died, he was kind of like broke. His inventions, like he wasn't able to make that much money with it for whatever reason. I guess he was persecuted by the government, but somebody was in charge of going and looking at all of his research and stuff. And that person happened to be Donald Trump's uncle. Did you guys know this?
John Trump.
Or whatever.
His
Yeah, I
name
think it's John Trump. I think so.
JT.
And that's what they say, that they got the time travel technology. And then if you look at Back to the Future, these people, they make these YouTube videos where it's like Back to the Future's, this coded movie for Donald Trump's time traveling experience. And it's just weird because the movie is based off Biff in the movie. The character even said this. I think Ivan Reitman or whoever did, I forget who was the director, said it is based off Donald Trump.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But, my question is, what is interdimensional sex trafficking? How is it? What is happening? Is it that people are their minds are being warped by like some external source, and then they're trafficking the children, and they're doing the bidding of some? Is that the idea, or is it literally like aliens are beaming children up to spaceships and having sex with them? Like, what's the argument?
Kevin, you want to take this one? Closest to the topic.
Yeah, I didn't want to be that close to the topic, but I think we should ask the chat here. I'm at the Timcast member IRL Discord chat, so if anybody knows in here, please tell us what you think it is.
Well, here, let me read this. In 1988, a publication of Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, and in the book, it was about a character named Baron Trump, and his guide is named Dawn.
Now, I've heard that book got wrote later, like it's more recent, but they just make it look like it's an old book.
This is saying it came out in 1896 or 1888.
That's what it says in the book, I believe, is dated back to then. But then all of a sudden, it just appeared like in the lexicon in the modern mind like 5 years ago.
It's like the Mandela effect. Is it real or is it fake?
So, all right, listen, we're going to go ahead and move on from the interdimensional sex trafficking.
And time travel.
And the reason is because if we don't, Shane Cashman is going to come up here and beat us all for stealing his thunder. But we're going to go to, because IWL, we're going to go to, where is it? Let's see. From the post-millennial, Puerto Rico bans all medical sex changes for people under 21. Minors having not yet reached the necessary emotional, cognitive, and physical maturity are particularly vulnerable to making decisions that can have irreversible consequences. Puerto Rico has banned sex change surgeries for those under the age of 21 and blocked public funds from being used for such purposes. Governor of the U.S. Island Territory, Jennifer Gonzalez Colon, signed the bill into law on Wednesday. The bill would see fines of $50,000 per violation issued to healthcare professionals who provide hormone therapy or sex change surgeries, as well as 15 years in prison and the revocation of licenses and permits, per NBC News. The law states minors having not yet reached the necessary emotional, cognitive, and physical maturity are particularly vulnerable to making decisions that can have irreversible consequences. Therefore, it is the state's duty to ensure their comprehensive well-being, and I say, bravo, Puerto Rico. Why the rest of the United States and its territories have not already passed these laws, I don't know, but I think this is something that the United States, the federal government, should pass for all of the U.S. and its territory.
Well, I think there's a bigger question. Is like, who is that desperate to cut off their penis? They're going to a doctor in Puerto Rico. I mean, seriously. I mean, to go to a real doctor. You know what I mean? What are they going to do? This in the back of a taco truck? Like, I'm going to go to Puerto Rico and have them cut off my wiener. Like, dude, give me a break. I mean, gosh almighty. Good thing they outlawed them, because I wouldn't want a Puerto Rican doctor cutting off my genitals. No offense to Puerto Ricans.
To be honest, to that point,
big booty Latinas, but
I wouldn't want any kind of doctor. Doesn't matter.
I know.
I'm not a racist, so whatever.
Well, I'm not a racist. I love big booty Latinas. I'm just saying, Puerto Rico, or you want a doctor that went to went to medical school online? I mean, no. I want a real doctor that went to a brick and mortar school.
I agree. I would agree for other
Puerto Rico being a state. It's not really a state, but
no, it's
Puerto
territory.
Rico is still a shithole. I mean, I love you, Puerto Rico. I've been to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico's not this nice place. Dude, Puerto Rico had a hurricane, and I was in Puerto Rico recently. I'm not even kidding. Beautiful place. Everybody goes there to dodge their taxes. That's what it's for, basically, just to, and I love that. I think taxes are, a scam. And I know some people that have dodged their taxes in Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico, first of all, is the last place you want to get any kind of surgery, unless you're like trying to get a BBL or something for 50% off. But I'm serious. So them outlawing sex change, they should just outlaw surgery in Puerto Rico altogether. It should be only life-saving surgery.
Does the U.S. government neglect the Puerto Rico? Is that why it's suffering so terribly right now?
Yeah, like they had a hurricane and the traffic light still wasn't working. And I stayed at the Fairmont Hotel, a really nice hotel. They're like, oh yeah, the light just hasn't been fixed. They're like, really? It's not like that third world, but it's not first world. It's closer to Puerto Rico is like Jamaica or something. Maybe it's a little nicer, but it's like a beach colony. It's not like New York City. It's the opposite of that, in my opinion. So if you're going to Puerto Rico to get surgery, that's a losing proposition, I would say.
Is AOC from Puerto Rico?
Her abuela is, and then her roof flooded, and then we all raised money for her, and then AOC wouldn't take the money because AOC is.
It was conservatives that raised the money.
The conservatives raised the money, and she wouldn't take it for her abuela in Puerto Rico.
No, AOC's from.
She doesn't care about her
AOC's from
abuela?
New York. AOC's from.
She's from like Westchester.
Yeah, she went to she grew up in a very nice area of New York. She tries to play it off that she came from
the Bronx,
poor area in New York, but she didn't. She grew up. Sandy Cortez grew up in a very nice and went to school in a very nice area of New York. But is it something that the Puerto Rican government shouldn't be involved in, or is this what this is?
Well,
what do you guys think?
Over 18, I feel like you got to let. They're adults, so I don't see why you would ban them from making medical decisions over 18. That's
the argument for that is basically your prefrontal cortex has not developed enough to control your decision making, your emotional brain.
I think that's true.
Is that specific to men?
No, that
or
is
women?
actually true. It's like your brain actually finishes developing somewhere around 25. So at 20, when you're 18, even though you're an adult technically, you're prone to be more reactive and make decisions based on emotion more than on actual thought about it, and the repercussions don't really register with people, that like what forever is and what permanent really means the same way they do with someone over 25.
Were you gonna say something?
Oh, I was just wondering if it was the same for women, because they always say like girls mature faster. Is their brain like, does it reach that level earlier? And if so, do the laws reflect that?
I've never actually looked into it, but I know that when it comes to like renting a car, the reason you can't rent a car until you're 25 is because of these studies that insurance companies have done. They say, okay, people under 25 make bad decisions because they haven't matured enough. And when you look at the actual science behind it, they haven't matured enough because their prefrontal cortex hasn't fully developed.
And I agree with that, because like when you're 21, you're still a kid. I know that seems people are like, no, you're really adult. I mean, you're really a kid until 25. Like that, I think 25 actually is the age when I was kind of like, oh shit, I'm almost 30. Like that is kind of the age, and I technically started considering myself like I'm actually an adult.
Yeah, me too.
People are gonna make fun of me for that, but that's when I was like, oh shit, like I am an adult. So yeah, that makes sense. That the fact that it's 21 though, I kind of do agree. Like 18, I want to be able to have a gun. I should be able to, cut off my penis, I guess. I mean, if there's going to be an age restriction, that's
actually, why would they limit to not do gun control at that age too, or whatnot?
We debate the trans people a lot, but I just want to say that like I don't hate the trans. Like I like the trans people. I don't like the transitioning of children. And like there's a lot of conservatives that want to outlaw like transgenders in women's sports. I think that's stupid, because you can gamble on transgenders. You can win money. I'm serious. Like Leah Thomas, I won so much money. Literally from the Olympics, that transgender, I won like $2,000. I'm dead serious. Yeah, you can gamble on them. And this is the other thing is like Donald Trump is trying to outlaw transgenders in the military. I disagree with that, because transgenders I think would make good soldiers. They're like some of the meanest people on earth. They like to carry out mass shootings. They do that all the time. They have done like the last 6, and a lot of them are suicidal. You know what I mean? And a soldier that's willing to die for his country is probably the best soldier you could have. So I'm pro-trans. I love the trans people. I think that we give them almost too tough of a time. I like these laws in place to stop children from getting these. That's where I kind of stand. So I tend to agree with you on the 18.
Oh man, it's the same way with doing drugs. I wouldn't advocate someone to give kids drugs, but if you're 22 and you want to do drugs, go for it. That's my argument with that.
Do they have a limit for age though with drugs? I don't think so.
I mean, it depends on what drug and what you're talking about. If you're talking about like marijuana, it's just, I believe it's 18, possibly 21, depending on the jurisdiction where it's legal. Is it 18? Okay, yeah. So it's 21 recreational, 18 medical.
I was just looking at most of Europe here. Most of them have it at 18. Scotland has 16.
You're talking about drinking?
For transitioning. So Europe's kind of on the consensus of around 18. So they're going a little hard with 21 in Puerto Rico. But
21's interesting. Morally, I understand it, but legally, it makes no sense.
I think 21 is fine. I mean, we should be doing everything we can as a society to disincentivize and discourage like transitioning, because I think that it well, first of all, because you cannot become a woman if you're a man.
Well, be careful. On YouTube, you can become whatever you want. But I want to say this, though.
No, you can say it's okay nowadays.
Well, it wasn't that long ago, and I used to be a Howard Stern fan, and now he stinks. But he used to do this thing with Dr. Sal Calabro where people could win breast implants, and sometimes he would have a trans person to win the breast implants. And he would have the trans person on. It was very funny. But he would always ask them, this is the 90s, early 2000s, like, have you got the bottom surgery? Are you post-op or pre-op? He would always ask them. And they would always say, I'm pre-op, because I can't go to a surgeon. There's only very few surgeons. This is the early 2000s. They're like, there's not very many surgeons in America that will do this surgery. I have to go to a foreign country, and it's not safe there. And then if you look at the amount of gender reassignment clinics in the 80s compared to now, and then you have, Billboard Chris that released at Ann Libs of TikTok a video of Boston Children's Hospital saying that they love a child diagnosed with gender dysphoria because they have a patient for life. There's a medical incentive to transition these people. So until we stop our for-profit medical system, this is never going to stop, Phil. That's what I
was stop our for-profit medical system.
No, I mean, that's one thing that I'm not too conservative. I wish we had caps. And I wish you could put a lot of caps on our healthcare system. But I'm saying if we have a healthcare system that is a capitalistic system. They're always going to use this gender reassignment, gender transition. It's like how they give everybody an antidepressant. You go in there and say, I feel sad. They give you a pill that is, SSRIs, that even some of the side effects cause suicidal tendencies. So why would you give a suicidal person a pill that makes them more suicidal? So I'm just saying the medical community does not care about keeping us healthy. They want to keep us sick. And I think with this trans stuff, there's no better way than to diagnose somebody as having gender dysphoria, and they will never be okay.
I do agree that there is a lot of there are a lot of doctors and a lot of pharmaceutical companies that are lobbying for these procedures and to keep these procedures legal, specifically because it creates permanent customers. If you have a transgender surgery, you are going to be on medication for your entire life. And I agree about that, definitely. But I just think that it's totally awful to allow this. I think that this stuff is going to be looked at like lobotomies in the future.
Oh, for sure.
I think so too, actually. Yeah, somebody that cuts off their wiener. I mean, I'm not even trying to be funny, because that's the other thing is this is some of the sick people. I talk to these detransitioners, and I really appreciate all the people that are detransitioned and that are outspoken. But if you cut off your genitals, your sexual satisfaction is not going to happen. Like anybody that says that they turn their penis into a vagina and that they can, have any sexual gratification.
Apparently they've advanced that.
That's bullshit.
And apparently they can get pleasure from it. I don't know.
I know, dude. You can get pleasure all sorts of ways. I'm just saying it's not the same.
So what do you guys think about the argument? So playing devil's advocate here, what do you think about the argument? This is the early stages of transgender surgery, and whereas they'll never be able to change the chromosomes, they will be able to eventually produce genitals that are functional in a way that normal people's genitals are functional, and this is the necessary first steps.
Are you talking like take cells, clone them, and grow an
basically like grow a penis on your elbow and use your own penis?
So I don't know. So I don't know how it actually happens. But the point that I'm making is there are people that are transhumanists that believe that in the future we are going to have bionic arms, bionic eyes. You'll be able to either regrow or have mechanical.
It's gonna be like
appendages.
It's gonna be like Futurama. Our head is just
straight. Well, it'll be straight up like Luke Skywalker's hand, and they're growing. They're growing skin and muscle in the lab. So I mean, you can imagine that in 100 years they'll be able to replace people's arms with a mechanical arm that actually has their own skin, like grafted or grown in the lab, covering it. Maybe it'll be a robotic skeleton. But you'll be able to grow, your own skin and stuff. What do you say to people that say this is just the first step of that stuff, and we shouldn't outlaw it? And again, I think we should. But the point that I'm making is just to play devil's advocate. What do you say to those people that these are the baby steps? Because there's Neuralink that they're working on now, computer chips in the brain, etc. These things are all possible now, and these are the first steps to make them widespread.
Well, it's terrifying, and I think God puts you in the body you're meant to be in. But what I think might happen is they actually grow a body for you and then move your consciousness from the male body to the female clone or something like that. I think that would be more realistic.
Or really, if they have the Neuralink, you don't even need a body. Like you'll just be like intubated in a tube, and then you'll be living in a computer fantasy like Vanilla Sky.
Yeah, it's kind of like by the time we get to that point, it will be like a non-thought anymore. It's just like, I mean, you could technically...
We could already be in that point right now.
A penis that you could put back on if you would decide to untransition yourself if you had gone that route. So at that point, it's like, why do any of it? I don't know.
Well, I think that I'm all about body modification in general if you want to. I find it not attractive, but doing it on kids isn't the way to test it. If this is the early stages of figuring out, that's not the way to do it.
I don't think that was. I think my
it wasn't your question, but
my point was more about just what about adults that want to do that?
Yeah, that's cool. I support it, but man, that gross shit when that gets into the kids' minds, and then the kids are start to told like you're supposed to do that. That's real bad, and that doesn't help the cause.
Well, and I just think there's like some science, the eyeball, like doing surgery on eyes are so difficult. I think that's going to be similar to like a penis.
Yeah, because it goes in. It's all
you just
internal
can't
stuff.
You could create like a thing that is close to a penis, but it'll always be like 95% of a penis. So I don't think that's possible. I don't think unless it's like grown in a lab, I don't think you can make an artificial thing that will have the same sexual gratification and as the real thing. I just don't think that's
It's like a quantum leap, like way past.
Ever. I don't think so ever. Unless we can actually clone people, like unless you can just make the whole entire human body. I don't know if you can make an external penis and add it to your regular penis. I mean, I don't know.
It's a lot more than the external stuff. It's a big problem with the movement that they think that if it's the way you look, then that makes you what you are. But it's all the internal workings that you don't see that participate in creating what your penis does and how it is. It's not just what you see and what's on the outside.
What do you guys think? Do you think that transitioning is trying to, and making that normalized, is trying to make transhumanism something?
Of course, 100%. It comes from it's like, this is even demonic. It's in the Bible, like Baphomet, you know. And whether you guys believe in God or not, the evil people that rule the world, like they are into Christianity, so they're Satan. Like they know the Bible. The people that are Satanists actually know the Bible better than a Christian a lot of the times.
That's true, yeah.
And so that's what they look at, like Baphomet. Some of these demonic characters are, you know, it's like a physical male with the male abs and then female breasts. So there is this weird thing where they say in the future, if we live long enough, we'll all be one race and we'll all be one sex.
Yeah.
So there is a move towards that, the merge.
It feels dark. There's something about it that seems dark.
Androgyny. And then there's Andromeda, which is that.
That's a galaxy.
And it sounds very similar to androgyny. I don't know if it's a similar. They did that for a reason.
You can Google the root word andro.
Yeah, andro.
And that's also, it would be the derivative, or android is a derivative of that.
Android, androgynous, Andromeda. Like, what are they aiming us at right now? I see this transhumanist thing is full. It's in full gear right now.
Yeah, full gear. It's going to be mainstream.
Well, it's led by billionaires like Elon Musk, and the people that they say the motivation behind the trans, you know, people want to live forever. That's the motivation to the transhumanistic movement. It's like these really rich people want to live longer, and I think that people are more motivated to do that than ever. So I think that's why, selfishly, Elon Musk is into Neuralink, because he wants to hook his brain up to a computer so his brain will work forever, so he lives forever.
Living forever is, I was just thinking about this. Okay, inbreeding. Because if you're 180 but you have the body of a 35-year-old, and then you have these hot great-great-granddaughters that are also 35.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna. All right, hold on.
That's gonna mess with people, dude.
I'm literally gonna move on. We got one more segment, and then we're gonna talk about the.
Film.
Yeah. Anyway, so from the post-millennial. Misguided Keeping Families Together Act linked to increase in child mortality in Washington state. A disturbing rise in child deaths and near fatalities across Washington state has ignited intense backlash against the controversial Keeping Families Together Act, with critics accusing the law of keeping vulnerable children in dangerous homes with drug-addicted parents under a misguided attempt at family preservation. During a 4-hour meeting on Thursday, the Washington State Department of Youth, Children, and Families Oversight Board was presented with grim data from the Office of the Family and Children's Ombuds. OFCO Director Patrick Dowd revealed that 45 children died or nearly died between April and June of 2025, just 2 fewer than the already alarming 47 cases reported in the first quarter. Dowd said the deaths are a part of a growing trend his office could no longer ignore. We didn't want to give the impression that things are getting better when in fact we had preliminary information for 2025 that might paint a very different picture, Dowd told the board. We wanted to paint a picture of where things were headed. Who would have thought that if you allow heroin-using parents to keep children in houses with them, that there would be a rise in the mortality rate? This seems shocking to me.
But devil's advocate, I mean, do you trust these, child advocacy groups?
More than heroin addicts, yes.
I would agree with that. But still, I don't know. Some of these groups are just.
Look, the whole Pacific Northwest. You're from Washington, right?
Yeah, I was about to say. I've interviewed a lot of homeless people and drug addicts. Check it out on YouTube, 6'7" Kevin Dregs of the City, to see these documentaries where there's actual interviews of these moms that have had their children taken away, and then they said the children have been trafficked by these groups. And, I don't know what it's like, but these children also have a connection to the mother, and you're ripping the child away from the mom. And I heard these stories where the mom and the child, they would find each other. Like the child would run away from the protective service to find the mom every day, and stories like that. So If the services were better, I would agree. But I think that they're corrupt to the core too, just from the stories that I've heard.
Well, so you've got, it seems you've got two options, right? You've got keeping children with the drug-using parents, or the state takes them. And the state, which is, you're articulating terrible results with that as well, which is worse?
That's the question. Yeah, it's always picking of two evils.
That's everything. Look, Thomas Sowell says that there are no actual solutions, there are trade-offs. And everything, and that's a legitimate argument. There's never going to be a perfect solution for anything. You're going to do something, and there's going to be externalities, and then you have to make a decision: are the externalities worse than before you started whatever policy that you're dealing with?
And you make a good point, but here's the thing too: you have to think of the emotional effect on the mother and things like that, because when they have their child taken away, then they double down on the drugs, and they overdose and things like that, because that's their connection to life at that point. And sometimes that transforms their lives. When they see the child, they're like, I'm going to do less drugs, not all the time, but having that child around, I think, is an inspiration for people to be better.
So I used to consider myself a libertarian, and I was pro legalization of most drugs because the argument was, well, it's bad to interject the state and have police have to pick people up for doing drugs, and you ruin lives because of it. And I think that the evidence that California, Portland, and Washington State, or Portland and Seattle have given us, when you decriminalize the actual really hard drugs, I think that it's shown. That's really what changed my mind, because not only do you end up with people doing drugs, people that want to do drugs, they can't function in a normal life. So you get homeless people, because if you're trying to get heroin all the time, you always end up with a drug den. If you watch Breaking Bad, the houses that are in the show are based on what real drug dens and houses of heroin addicts and opiate users and whatever type of drug they'd use. That is really representative of what their houses look like. And it is not more compassionate to allow people to live on the streets or in filth and do drugs than to put them in prison to get them to stop, or put them into, make there be too much pressure for them to just sit around and do drugs, right? So you have to tell homeless people, move along. You can't just sit here, and you have to say, we're going to arrest you, because to allow them is to not just destroy their lives, but it's also to allow them to destroy neighborhoods and destroy the property of other people and the property values of other people, and ruin the lives of people that just want to go to the park with their kids, and et cetera. So I used to be like that, but I'm not anymore. And I'm interested in your take on that.
Oh, for sure. I think you're right on. I met a ton of folks that they said prison saved their life, that they were a drug addict, and when they went to prison, that's when they were forced to get off the drugs, and it was a terrible experience because they have like flu-like symptoms, their diarrhea, they feel terrible, but they weren't able to get the drugs, and that's how they got off of it. So I totally agree. And then when you look at the Northwest, like you said, I did a documentary on Portland because, in Oregon, they legalized all the drugs there. The repercussions of that is incredible. It's still being felt, because addiction is still holding these people.
Well, I would argue it's the drugs' fault, though. I know that sounds crazy, because there's a lot of people that use marijuana that are successful. There's functioning alcoholics. But now, because of fentanyl, because of the synthetic opioids that are just so available and that are being smuggled in, it's just different. Like, if everybody was just smoking weed, the world would be, we'd be a little dumber and slower, but it wouldn't be as bad. But now with these synthetic opioids that are just incredibly cheap, we're screwed. And until we stop China from importing them, just like they're going to be in everything. Because even if a person buys a Xanax, they buy a pain pill, it's all infected with fentanyl. If you buy cocaine or whatever, that's fentanyl on it. So I think the drugs have gotten so much worse recently, and that's kind of. Not that drugs are ever good, but like your position being more libertarian, I think maybe in the 90s.
Not anymore.
Well, I'm saying not more. I don't agree with it. But like, I think there was a time it was like, maybe we should be lesser on drugs when drugs weren't as hard. Like, I remember the DARE program, like, these drugs will kill you in one puff. That wasn't true then, I don't think. I mean, I guess there was Lynn Bias, the famous basketball player that was drafted that did cocaine and overdose. But now in this day and age, if you actually try a drug, there is a high possibility there's fentanyl in it and you can die. And that's not, hyperbole.
Well, I interviewed a DEA guy recently, and he told me there's 7 to 9 different drugs that are inside of each different hit now that people
like
are calling
ecstasy
fentanyl.
or whatever, or in the fentanyl. I'm saying
Yeah.
everything has fentanyl in it now. Even if you buy a drug that you don't think is fentanyl, there's fentanyl in it. So you're saying even in the fentanyl, there's 10 different drugs
Well,
in it?
they call it fentanyl, but it's not even fentanyl anymore. It's a mixture, of a bunch of different synthetics.
Like 10
uppers,
years
downers.
ago, like there, like a lot of people that I used to, like part of my friend group, I have been to at least 3 funerals of people that have died from heroin the first time they did it, and it probably wasn't just heroin.
No, it wasn't just heroin. Because I remember when I went to college, like I don't like pain pills that make me sick, but that was like the OxyContin era, and that was bad. There's a lot of people that OD'd and died, but it's exponentially worse now. But really, actually, we say all these stats. There's over 100,000 fentanyl drug overdose this past year, but there's actually over 100,000 alcohol-related deaths. So actually, there's much more than that. I think alcohol-related deaths, there's like hundreds of thousands. So actually,
including the car accidents.
yeah, it's not. I don't even think it includes accidents either. So I'm saying alcohol really is the most dangerous drug, but that's socially acceptable. So when it comes to drugs, I kind of used to be like you two, like, hey, we should probably almost a little decriminalized. But now in this modern era, no, we do need to help people though when they get arrested for this.
And the term drugs is so vague because
It is.
especially with this divergence, diaspora of the fentanyl and weed, completely different realms of chemical. And that's like saying, how'd you get so fat? Food. And be like, well, wait,
a little vague.
Let's specify what food are you talking?
I would push back on that.
Yeah, I mean, it is food that
because
makes you fat.
like literally, like it's calories in versus calories out.
I always know because
It is
if you get
absolutely 100% always calories in versus calories out.
No, it's not.
You cannot get fat if you do not take in more
Well,
calories
Ian's
than
going
you
to say
burn.
that that's not true because
You know
he
what
can
a
eat a bunch of
calorie
calories
is?
and can't gain weight.
you know what a calorie is? It's a
It's
unit
a
of heat.
unit of heat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's produced by food in your body getting chemically changed.
It
so
is
the vitamins in the food are also part of the transition.
point that I'm making.
So you might have 5 calories from a piece of sugar or 5 calories from a piece of broccoli.
the
They're different.
The point that I'm making is if you take in more calories every day than you burn, you will get fat.
You will store it.
You will store that energy. The heat will be stored. The energy, because that's what heat is energy. The energy that you are taking in from those calories, they will be stored in your body as fat. That is exactly how it works.
But
And it's
Phil,
not
you
any
do know
more
this.
complex than that.
You are right. Like that's to the simplest point. But Ian, because Ian probably eats a lot of calories and his body just his metabolism is fast, right?
Sure.
So some people can't gain. Like you and I can probably gain weight. So that's why we have a different opinion than Ian.
That's 100% true. The metabolic rate of people is different, and someone's metabolic rate may be faster, and their resting, their daily burning of calories just from doing their normal activities is higher than someone else's. That's true. But if you lower the number of calories that you take in, you
don't take in calories. That's the thing. You take in food, and whether or not your body converts it into energy is depending on how healthy your body is.
It's calories in, calories out. Like if you take in less calories than you burn, you're going to lose weight. That's just the simplest.
But just because you eat the food doesn't mean you're going to burn it properly. If your body is
Actually,
all fucked up,
he does have a point because celery has like negative calories where it takes your body
like-
more calories to burn the celery. I mean, that's true.
I mean, so it takes more calories to chew, but the
There's
action
like
of chewing
there's
and
like stuff inside that takes your body more like.
well,
energy to
there's
burn.
very little actual like fiber and calorie content in celery. Is the point that you're making? Your body processing it, like picking it up, chewing it, swallowing it, processing it through your digestive tract takes more calories to do than the actual piece of celery has in it. So yeah, so you're right. Like I'm not disagreeing with you.
So I kind of tangented into food, but we're talking about just being specific with drugs because I'm kind of with you, Phil, about legalizing drugs. I kind of rode the same wave. I still feel like weed should be legal. It stinks. I don't want people to smoke it in private buildings. I like the smoking ban in general, but like edible and stuff, that chemical. That whole, the way they made it illegal was like William Randolph Hearst in the 1920s had all the paper mills, and he had a bunch of trees, and he wanted to get a monopoly on the paper industry. So he made hemp. He got with Harry Anslinger in Congress and got them to make hemp illegal so that he could monopolize the paper industry.
They wrote a bunch of stories about how like people would smoke marijuana and like rape people,
Yeah.
and they no, I swear, you look at it. What is it called? They
Reefer
made it
Madness was
Reefer
one of the
Madness. It was about that. Like they made if you smoke marijuana, you're gonna go and have schizophrenia, and that was William Randolph Hearst.
It's a potent chemical for sure, but I think that.
Well, what's worse now is the Delta 9 is a synthetic weed. I mean, have you ever had Delta 9?
I think so.
It is gross. Like
Nasty.
I've tried it.
Yeah.
Delta 9 or Delta 8 or what? Any of the synthetic marijuana.
I had was it called Spice once, like 10 years ago?
Well, that's different.
Garbage.
That stuff's really bad. But like I had a CBD sponsor, and I'm like, these CBD gummies don't get you high. No, they actually get you high, and they're terrible for you. And it's not like a clean high. It's like anything with synthetic weed in it it's gross. But that's what China. That's how they're able to smuggle in the fentanyl in their country. These. I guess like these, they're not a pharmaceutical company because they're making fentanyl. But what they do is they can add a chemical compound to it to make it legal. So it's like fentanyl, yada, 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 plus this element. So it's like how they make synthetic marijuana, the Delta 8. They add another chemical. So it's not just THC, it's THC-A. And that's how they have fentanyl. They have like a fentanyl B. So legally they can manufacture it and send it there because it's not technically the outlawed fentanyl that they make. So does that make sense? Like they can add a compound to it and make it legally. So that's why all the fentanyl is able to come to Mexico, and that's why they're able to smuggle it up the border, because in China, every time they shut one down, they just make more fentanyl with some other chemical, and then technically to the letter of the law, it's legal for them to produce it. So that's what's happening with the synthetic weed is they get this hemp and then they add chemicals to it. And yes, you have an effect where it makes you feel like you're high, but it's not a good high. It's like it just makes you feel kind of sick almost.
The healing properties of CBD are fascinating, and that comes from just the plant itself, the cannabidiol. Worth looking into.
All right. We're going to go to this next story about the immigration documentary that Timcast and 6'7 Kevin have produced. It's going to be available on Monday, July 21st. Only on Rumble, and then after that premiere, it's going to be available only on timcast.com, is it, right? It's going to be available on the website. But we're going to go ahead and show a little bit of that now, and then we're going to ask Kevin to discuss it a little bit. What was that?
Yeah, take the mute off.
Sorry. Oh, yeah.
For those that think that the Trump
bring it back.
administration is
Bring it
humane
back.
and open borders are humane,
Is this you behind the camera, Kevin?
Yeah.
Hi, you are currently being deported.
for those that think that the Trump administration is humane and open borders are humane, you're a moron.
I think a lot of Americans, they have this thought, America's the greatest country in the world, everyone wants to come here. Are the migrants thinking that after they come here?
No.
Soy americano, sé feliz, está bien, no tiene problema.
They're not sending their best. Two different ambushes on immigration federal officers.
You can just kill ICE agents, you know that?
Are you scared at all of these death threats? Or
Nah, you know, come get some. I wake up at the kid in the candy store every day.
I think they shouldn't be borders in any part of the world.
I'm not running a popularity contest. I got a job doing what I want to do.
So actually, the documentary is only going to be available on Rumble. So you have to sign up for rumble.com to see this after the debut on Monday. But if you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about what your experience was like making this and how you got into it.
Yeah, no, this was an adventure, man, an adventure of a lifetime. I had been reporting on the border for last 3 years or so, but I wanted to do something more boots on the ground, and Tim was down for it. So I went through Panama, through the Darien Gap, followed the journey of migrants, talked to deportees.
Can you talk a little bit about what it was like to go through the Darien Gap? Because that's kind of the area where there is no actual road from South America to North America, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So the skinniest point in Central America is there in Panama in the Darien, and ever since the conquistadors, people have been using it to cross through there. So the same maps that the conquistadors were using are what the migrants use today, the same trails up through there. They're using those same old trails, but now China, through the Belt and Road Initiative, is building a road through the Darien Gap. They used to call it Tampon del Darien in the local language because it's literally the plug. They kind of...
They call it the tampon? Wow,
they do,
that's funny.
yeah. But now because of this road, it's going to allow for mass migration at a scale it's unprecedented. So what Trump's done at the border, he has shut it down. And that's verified. I talked to Border Patrol agents. It's true, talked to migrants, all that. But he hasn't stopped the United Nations. He hasn't stopped the European Union. When I was in the Darien Gap, I saw these, it was dystopian. It was like these giant camps that the United Nations made. And that's what these migrants are following. There's camps all throughout the Darien, Central America, up to Mexico.
There's like checkpoints?
Basically checkpoints paid for. So they get their food paid for, the bus paid for, and there's this whole train line basically to go right into the United States.
Wait, when they say they're walking, they're not actually walking, are they?
Through parts of it, through like the Darien and things like that.
There's not a road. They have to walk.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, so like, I mean, they're just literally just have a, I mean, I see the backpacks and you see them walking, but how much of the Darien Gap do you walk? I mean, it's just like the desert kind of, I mean.
It's river, jungle, 60 miles of the most dangerous jungle in the world. And 10% of the migrants died on their journey going through there. And there was millions during Biden's time, so there's just dead bodies everywhere.
Oh, really?
No, did you saw a bunch of dead bodies?
I talked to the locals. They saw the dead bodies. They'll just be like floating down the river, and they told me stories of just seeing like dead infants floating down the river because there's separations that happen between parent and child in the Darien, a lot of trafficking that goes on. And that was the other big part of this documentary that I didn't go into it thinking it would be, but we went after the missing migrant children. There's hundreds of thousands of missing migrant children. We found Walmarts just filled with children. And they're being dropped off to sponsors that are not properly vetted. So we went door knocking to see where these kids were dropped off to.
Isn't it like Catholic Charities a lot of the times that are the ones that are doing a lot of like picking up the kids?
Yeah, so there's a lot. The Catholic Charities are involved, the United Nations are involved, and the cartels.
Is Israel involved?
They actually are. There's highest.
Gosh, I was just joking, but okay, wow.
It's the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society. It's in the film. They pay for the migrants to have support going up through there. In Panama, they're actually one of the largest funders of mass migration.
Are you serious?
I'm not joking.
Are you trolling?
No, I'm not joking. It's in the documentary. I know it's a joking.
What are they called?
Watch on Monday.
Hebrew, what is it called?
Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society. Look it up, highest.org. And one of the major funders.
The chat is having conniption.
Yeah, the chat's going to love that group. Wow. I didn't realize that. I was just kidding. I thought you were going to say, like, no, not really. But I didn't expect you to say, actually, Israel is the most important country and the most powerful country when it comes to the illegal immigration in the Darien Gap. Wow, I didn't expect that answer.
It's particularly for Jews fleeing pogroms in Europe is what it was founded to help that.
It was founded as that, and they took that idea of the exodus of the Jews from Egypt, and they kind of liken that to the Venezuelans and other migrants today.
Oh, that's good.
That are coming
That's
up.
really good.
But they're not Jewish. They're not Jewish migrants.
No, they're just Venezuelans with criminal history. That's good.
It's interesting because they actually brought in a lot of Muslim and potentially sleeper cells into the United States.
I wonder why they'd want that. I wonder why they'd want Muslim sleeper cells to come into the United States and attack Americans. I wonder why Israel would want that. That's weird.
They're not attacking Israel that way.
Why would America feel like it has to defend itself and start a war to defend itself? Why would they ever want?
Yeah, why would they ever want to demonize Muslim people as terrorists? I don't know. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know I was going to learn that today. I had no idea, and I'd heard conspiracies.
Okay. So can you do me a favor and go on a little bit more about the
what I learned about is it's those organizations like Highest, the United Nations, that if we don't cut the funding to them, mass migration will continue. And that's what I was talking to a lot of the migrants I talked to deportees in Mexico.
These are NGOs you're talking about, right?
Yeah, these are NGOs. USAID was big behind this.
Do you think that the defunding of USAID is going to make a difference?
Yeah, I actually went to 4 different gay-only migrant shelters in Mexico.
Wait,
that
what?
were USAID funded.
What is going on? So now you're
USAID funded.
You're at the Hebrew area, now you're at the gay area. What's going on at the border, dude? This sounds kind of fun.
Not even at the border. It's down in the Darien Gap.
Yeah, the Darien Gap doesn't sound that bad. So you're at the gay place, you're at the Jewish place. So
the gay place is shut down because USAID shut it down.
Okay.
We got undercover footage of that where I told this guy to act gay and to go in there, and they told him on camera that most of their funding was from USAID and is now being cut. And so those are
how do
being
they know
shut
you're
down.
gay? Real quick, how do they test that you're gay? You just say I'm gay and like you kind of act effeminate, or like do they like make you show them your wiener?
Gotta watch the documentary.
You have to watch the documentary.
They show you naked pictures of men and look at if you get a boner. Like what is going on, dude? This is
unbelievable. I couldn't believe it either. Just the amount of money the taxpayers had been putting into this. But the big thing is these migrants are waiting for the next election. These giant organizations, these camps are still there. And on camera, I get them saying, we are maintaining these camps just in case they need to be activated again in the future.
Which they will. Well, but really, this is the one thing, and I know conservatives get mad about this, and I remember learning this as a kid, that America is a melting pot. You know, I don't think we should be anti-immigration. I mean, obviously, I know that. I know we're not. I know people,
I am for now.
You're against all immigration?
I think that we should shut immigration.
Even legal immigration?
Shut down immigration for five years or so until we can actually have the people that have immigrated here, allow them to actually assimilate. Because the point you're making about melting pot, I agree. But the point of a melting pot was people become American. And the people that have come here... I do think
that's important, to become American.
The people that have come here, they don't become American. They actually they're setting up enclaves of their own culture and stuff. It's called multiculturalism, and it's really ripping Europe apart. It's causing massive problems. So I think that we should shut down immigration to the United States except for O1 visas, the not B1, but or not H1, but the actual you've got a special talent visa. Shut down immigration for 5 to 10 years. And only exceptional cases get to come in, and then we can revisit it.
Yeah, well, first of all, no, that's gay because that would mean less big booty Latinas in this country. So no, but
there are Latinas here to give birth to more big booty Latinas.
Listen, we need a few immigrants. Okay,
that's why I said a few.
No, but everybody calls me crazy. And Donald Trump, I've been going around screaming, for amnesty for big booty Latinas. Everybody laughs about it. They think I'm joking. But then you see Donald Trump go on the record and say, "Hey, listen, if you work at a hotel,
he's wrong."
But listen, this is why. Because Phil, I know what you've done in some hotel rooms. You've done some nasty stuff, okay? And you've been on the road. You've done nasty stuff in those hotel rooms. And guess what? Gloria from Guatemala came in there and she cleaned all those sheets. She washed it. And she did it for 50 cents on the dollar.
It's the back of the bus. It's not hotel rooms. It's in the back of the bus.
What do you mean in the back of the bus?
The back of the bus.
Or whatever. I know you did it on tour. I'm just saying, who's going to go clean a hotel room after Alex Stein farted into the sheets all night? Not a lot of people. You need to be an illegal to do that. I know that sounds crazy, but we need a couple of them. I mean, what do you mean?
Yeah, I actually saw the maid when I walked out of my hotel room, and she did not look happy.
She was not happy. We're staying on the same floor because my room's disgusting. And working at a hotel and changing the sheets after people do God knows what in those hotel rooms is disgusting. So
I think this is important for America, though, Alex. I do.
To make white people do that?
No. To allow the people that have immigrated here to give them time to assimilate.
Well, I'll be honest. This is going to be racist as hell. This is not going to get canceled. But I went to LSU, and Louisiana has a lot more African Americans than Hispanics. And I'm in Texas, where if you go to McDonald's, it's all Hispanic workers. You go to a Chinese restaurant, it's all Hispanic workers. This stuff comes out fast. This stuff comes out right. Your order's right. You go to Louisiana, you go to a McDonald's in Louisiana, good fucking luck getting your order. You know what I mean? And there's a reason why. Because the people that are working there are Americans, but the job's beneath them, so they don't care. The illegal immigrant, to them, their job at Burger King, they're like, oh, I'm at Burger King. I get a uniform. I've never had a T-shirt.
You don't want to hear that.
I'm not good at accents. Like, oh, I've never had a pair of shoes. Now I have Burger King shoes. They love it. So I feel like Americans are jaded, and they're not going to do a lot. Some of them will do this menial labor, but most people won't. And there is a difference when it comes to, and this is a person wearing a Burger King hat. I don't care what you say. The illegal person that works at Burger King they might be harder to understand, will do their job cooking the french fries and making the burger better than Yolanda, who's mad that her baby daddy is on Facebook cheating on her with her, cousin.
So you think we need a small trickle of illegal immigrants to cover some of the jobs?
Yeah, we need somebody to bring the weed in. I mean, we need somebody.
That's the argument that the left makes, and it's literally like, don't take away my slaves.
I agree. I got a maid. I got a housekeeper. I'm not.
False notion.
Listen, I think we should slow it down. I think the guys. If you're a Trinidad Aruga, we can slow out all the guys. But what's a woman gonna do? Have you ever? Okay, all the hotels you ever stayed at. Have you ever seen a male housekeeper at your hotel?
Oh no, not.
It's impossible. It's impossible. There's never been a male housekeeper in the history of a hotel. Look at chat. Check me right now. Every single person watching this, you've all stayed in a hotel. How many of you seen a male housekeeper? Zero. They don't exist. So this is why it's important. We can keep the ladies because they can do that crap. The men, get out of here. You know what I mean? If you're a 9, you're fine. Like, I just do think that there is a difference, and I have nuance. I know we're talking a lot about nuance on this episode tonight. There is nuance when it comes to illegal immigration, and I don't think that this country should be totally against immigration. I do think there's a way to do it right, and
I'm just talking about a pause. But
I
Ken, go
agree.
ahead.
Latinas are beautiful, but it's a false notion about the working.
If you're
thing
suicidal.
Because let me tell you right now, this is in the documentary as well. I investigated this. Most of the illegal immigrants that came in the last 4 years, they went into blue cities and they received free money from the taxpayers. I got the documents for how much they were getting, free housing, they were getting cash benefits, they were getting food benefits.
I didn't say they should get social services. No, illegal immigrants should not.
Immigrants came for that.
Yeah, but you shouldn't get free social services. I totally disagree with that. If you I'm talking about the people that are actually working, because there's a difference. There are illegal immigrants that went to the Roosevelt Hotel and got a free hotel room. Those people kick rocks, get the hell out of here. But like, if you actually are coming here and you're working a job, I think that is significantly different than coming to America just for the social services. There is a difference. You know what I mean?
Trump mentioned that, where he's talking about amnesty for people that had worked in the country for a while.
Who did he get that idea from? Who did he get that idea from? The guy that's been yelling Big Booty Latina at AOC for 7 years.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go to Super Chats now. So smash the like button, share the show with your friends, tell everybody you know that you want to be, they want to go ahead and follow Timcast, and they want to sign up at timcast.com and become a member of our Discord. So that way you can call in to the after show, which is not happening today because it's Friday, but Monday through Thursday, we have that. And don't forget, the Culture War Podcast Live is back. It was gone for a moment last night because leftists have no sense of humor, and they believed that they had the ability to cancel Timcast live shows, but they didn't. And the wonderful people at the DC Comedy Loft have shown them. They said, no, we're not going to cancel it no matter how much you call and whinge and whine and complain. So go to dccomedyloft.com and you can get your tickets for the Culture War Live. We've got one coming up with Michael Malice and Angry Cops. Both of those guys are hilarious. They're great guys, and they are both they're gonna debate whether cops are a good thing or a bad thing. Michael Malice, you know, is a well-known anarchist, and Angry Cops is actually a cop. Richard High is a great guy. So, but right now we're gonna get to your super chats, and what do we got here? Trumpinator 47 says, "I love frog stew." Good to know.
Frog stew.
Yeah,
Never had
I mean. I don't know. I think it's frog leg stew.
I've had frog legs. They kind of taste like chicken. But one thing, Tim, Phil, what you said last night, though, they canceled the show. Tim calls me. He's like, hey, they canceled the show. And I said, Tim, they're not going to bring it back. We need to find another venue. And I have to give Tim credit because I was like, Tim, they're not going to uncancel it. And Tim's like, watch. And Tim shared that tweet where the Antifa that got Tim originally canceled or got the event canceled, they put the club's information. They put the phone number. They put the email address. And once Tim shared it, that number they had to disconnect the number. So they tried that one. Then the email, they turned off the email. But the one that put it over the top, and this is why I want to personally say thank you, because I'm going to be a part of the first episode with Gavin and Matan next weekend. I just want to say thank you because the people went on Google and they started leaving these negative Google reviews. And I didn't encourage you to do that. Tim didn't tell anybody to do that. But once their Google rating got so poor, they immediately changed their tune. And all of a sudden they're like, you know what? You guys are uncanceled.
Yeah.
So if you guys maybe want to help them out, maybe wait. If they let us, if they don't re-cancel us, maybe go back and leave some good positive Google reviews.
So if I understand correctly, the information that I got was that the actual owner
was out of town.
And didn't know. And the manager said, oh, we're going to cancel it because they didn't know what to do. They were getting all these negative comments, or they were getting a lot of pressure. And then when the owner came back into town, she was like, absolutely not. This show's going on, and was very apologetic and stuff. I imagine that to have the bad press from Tim is definitely not a good thing. You know, all the people that watch IRL, and Tim is a fairly well-known personality, I think.
Yeah.
That's an understatement, I think. But yeah, it is wonderful that that the shows are back, and Get your tickets at.
That never happens. Canceled and uncanceled. Like that never. That's weird. I've never seen that happen.
It's 2025. You know,
2025, and Tim Pool. Don't mess with Tim. And
That's
I think DC, they have that thing where they can't discriminate you based on your political affiliation. And Tim has about 25 lawyers, so I don't. They probably did not want to get involved with that.
All right. So Raymond G. Stanley said, if ticket got refunded, need to buy again. Okay.
He's talking about the show. They refunded the tickets. Yeah, see, that's another thing. What a clusterfuck. It's like, I think they did refund the tickets, so now I think you do have to go rebuy it. I think that is the protocol.
So if you bought tickets,
it's a pain in the ass.
You do have to go get them. I do think that it's important to obviously go rebuy your tickets, but I think that this particular issue, there's probably a lot of people that are going to be like, oh yeah, I want to go now.
Well, and there's going to be protesters there, so it's going to make it a little more interesting. So if you guys have never seen Antifa, come to DC and come hang out with Antifa and the Pimp on a Blimp and Tim Pool and Gavin Amaton. So
it's in DC, isn't it?
It's in DC, DC. I think it's like near Capitol Hill, I think.
Yeah. So. All right. What do we got here? What is this thing? Okay. All right. So let's see. Taylor Lorenz's ex says, Alex, enjoy your Best Trans Award from the Florida Young Republicans. I'm going to steal it from you on the 8-2 show now that it's back on. And please roast me some more at the show. It was exquisite. Taylor Lorenz's ex is a trans.
Oh, yeah, Taylor Lorenz's ex. Yes, we like Taylor Lorenz's ex.
Very, very friendly and right-wing trans woman. And so, we are friendly with her.
And I've been trying to get them to join the military like crazy. No, I love them. And once again, I love the trans. Taylor Lorenz ex, we tried to get you on stage last time. You didn't come on stage. So this time you need to come on stage. Do not be a chicken. Do not be a little scaredy cat. Come on stage. We encourage all trans people to debate. So.
Yeah. Shane H. Weiler says, great job to all who emailed, called, or memed their complaints about the live show. Can't wait to heckle Stein on the 2nd. Shout out to Kellen, Tate, and Raymond for fielding inquiries. Y'all real ones. So, shout out to the behind-the-scenes people here.
Hey, that's another thing. Kellen, Serge, these guys, they do not get enough credit. They really are the best. I think Serge over there works his butt off. He makes it look easy, but it's actually very hard. I'm not just saying that. So directing this show is not easy. And then Kellen, he's a badass all the way. So.
Dude, I want to shout out Kellen for helping with the documentary. He was a lot of help just back and forth on that. And then also Carter with the music, Carter Banks.
What's up? It's been a pleasure making music for this documentary. I got to see a lot of the scenes before they were cut and never scored anything before officially, so this was a lot of fun for me.
Oh, this is your first documentary? How was that?
Yeah, well, it was crazy. It was fun. Started with a Novation base station and just kind of melded notes together and used a lot of sounds like bullets and different cartel sounds to make it more real. And I don't know, Kevin seems to like it, so.
Did you just watch the movie and trance out and hear songs?
So we kind of, it was more of like a back and forth process where Kevin would tell me what he was looking for, and then he would give me clips, and I would write something that I thought would fit, and he would use, I gave him all the stems, so he would use them in different ways, and it was like making a music video that was 2 hours.
Yeah, his music is underneath like about an hour of this film, which is wild, whether it's just sounds, tones, or fully scored bits. And it was funny, I was sending him clips that I thought weren't good, and then after he sent it back to me with the music, I was like, this
makes it so much better, dude.
Yeah,
you can see like the
so
music,
much better.
Emotional music will make a clip totally different. So that it is very important that the music fits it, like tells a story almost as much as what you're hearing and seeing.
Absolutely. Truth Seeker Cypher says, Hegseth confirmed the story. Check out the Microsoft allowance of Chinese workers in our DoD cloud instances as admins. This is bonkers. So yeah, there was a story that came out today that we didn't cover, but the Microsoft cloud services that the DoD was using, I believe they were hosted in China. Or China had access to it. Serge is actually digging it up right now.
Yeah, China had been involved in constructing some of the tech they were using. He called it legacy tech. That's how Hegseth referred to it. It's like his old stuff. We're not going to be using any Chinese anything anymore in the DoD going forward.
Yeah, Pete Hegseth made a video about it, and he signed the order that stopped it apparently today. Let's see. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said the Pentagon was looking into a cloud computing program run by Microsoft utilizing foreign workers from China, which was criticized this week for potentially lacking adequate safeguards, which could provide the CCP easy access to classified defense data and systems. Look, there are people out there, and there's a lot of reasons why I don't consider myself a libertarian anymore, but one of the things that actually bothers me is there's this idea that China is not an adversary and they are not actively looking to harm the United States when it comes to economically.
Is that the general libertarian viewpoint? That
libertarians,
China is not an adversary.
Libertarians believe that the United States, generally, and can't speak for all libertarians, but generally the sense is that China and Russia and basically every country in the world would not have a negative opinion of the United States were it not for the behavior of the United States. So basically, it's the U.S.'s fault for everything. America bad kind of sense. And that if we just trade with them, then everything will be fine. We don't really have a particularly aggressive foreign policy posture with China. There's obviously disputes about Taiwan, but even Taiwan, the United States has a strategic ambiguity policy on it, and they don't specifically say, "Oh, we would defend Taiwan," or we don't. I don't even think that any administration actually says that Taiwan is its own country. I think that they say that it's something
not to piss off China. Yeah,
yeah. I think that is a mistake. The United States and China are adversaries, and China will do everything they can to beat the United States in every single place you can possibly imagine.
Well, and I know a lot of people are probably going to get mad about this. Everybody wants to point to Israel being the bully, but I'm telling you, China is a bigger bully. It's just as bad as Israel, and I talked about it earlier with the fentanyl, the fact that they're buying all the property. Like, China wants to take over America, but they want to do it covertly. Maybe other countries want to take over America covertly. I'm not going to sit here and debate you, but China is such a big threat, especially all the people that I know that have died of drug overdoses. Carter knows people too. That is... I'm not saying Chinese people that you see every day are bad, but China, the country, does not care about America being successful. They want to try to undermine us from the inside out. So China, I hear a lot of people complain about Israel. China, I think, has caused much more irreparable damage, believe it or not.
I agree. So let's see. We'll go back to, let's see. So someone says, "You're wrong, Phil. Read Good Calories, Bad Calories by Gary Taubes. I lost over 100 pounds in 7 months, but ate more food by switching to eating all meat. Calories aren't important. Hormones are." You're wrong. Totally wrong. If you take in more calories than you burn, you will put on weight. I don't care that you lost weight. You were still burning more calories than you were taking in. I don't know what your diet was. I don't know what your exercise regime was. I don't know what your base metabolic rate is. But the absolute fact is, if you take in more calories than you burn, you will put on weight. If you take in fewer calories than you burn, you will lose weight.
He might be saying that if his hormones were off, he'd eat the food and his body wouldn't convert it into the calories.
That's possible.
Well, and that's
no, it doesn't. It's not that it doesn't convert it into calories. His hormones don't. His metabolism is slower because of the hormone stuff.
And that could be
this is
specific
his argument,
foods.
He said that he ate all meat, so he's going to say that he was in ketosis the entire time, so that his body was using stored fat the entire time. But still, if you eat too many calories, your body will store the excess.
If you ate ribeyes for every single meal and you sat on your butt you were taking in 5,000 calories,
if you ate 10,000 calories of broccoli, you would gain weight. If you ate that much of it,
that is just the way that it works.
Keep in mind, you don't eat calories. You don't take in calories. It's a weird
it's a measurement. Calories are just a measurement.
Happens. It's a measurement of the energy, the heat that's given off as your body digests the food that you ate. It's not a thing you eat.
Just like you said, it's energy stored. It's how much energy is in the food, and when your body takes in that energy, it stores that energy as fat.
Well, I want to say this because I am a skinny legend right now. I've lost about 35 pounds.
You look great, by
Thank you. I appreciate that. But how I've been doing it, people said I'm on Ozempic. I swear to God, I'm not on Ozempic. But you know what I've been doing is the time-restricted eating, where I won't eat till about 5 p.m. in the afternoon, and then I won't eat. I only eat for like a 4-hour window. For me, I've lost a lot of weight.
And what happened? Yeah. There's multiple different ways for for you to take in fewer calories, but the part of the reason is because you're restricting how much time you have to eat, so you're restricting the amount of calories that
Exactly, and it works for me. And that's if you guys are trying to do it, try 24-hour fast. You don't have to go long fast, but you just eat lunch, then don't eat lunch till the next day. It sounds crazy, but you will start to lose weight.
Oh, it works great too, and I get more done actually. I get more work done. Yeah.
When I'm eating a bunch, like Ian, you're naturally thin, but when I'm eating, it probably slows me down. I feel like when you eat, you might get energy.
No, I get cloudy. That's why I don't eat a lot.
Yeah, okay.
I love the clarity.
I thought maybe your body burns it better and mine doesn't. But
lately I've been eating a lot of animal fat and sugar. I've been doing these figs. I've been eating a lot of figs, and I went in the sauna and got so hot. The animal fat was storing the heat excessively. So less animal fat, I've noticed the heat just goes right through me and out of me. But the
figs
sugar
will make it go right through you.
Well, and they say the hot sauna is very important. That it really reduces your chance.
Well, you'll burn off all your water weight too, so you'll get really ripped.
Yeah, you got
dehydrated.
Yeah, dehydrated and stuff. So, all right, let's see. Vincent 1487 says Alex Stein should check out a YouTube AI country song about his favorite type of big posterior Latina.
Everybody sends me that
YouTube
video.
won't let me put the other buttocks word. I believe he'd love it, and the comments about him too.
Yeah, everybody sends me that video. I love that song. Everybody's like, did you make this song? But you know what's funny? I made a song about big booty Latinas. AOC is my favorite big booty Latinas on Spotify. It got like 100,000 views maybe, but this song, this AI Big Booty Latina song, has like 100 million. Carter, does that make you feel bad that this AI music can be made in 10 seconds and you have to work your ass off?
No, not really on Spotify. I don't really care about that.
But you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, in general, like, did you use any AI to score this documentary? Because, Kanye used it on Heil whatever.
Did he?
Yeah, on HH.
Really?
I supposedly used a little bit on the chorus. Yeah, that's what I heard.
I mean, I use a lot of like AI tools already. So
in the music, yeah.
It doesn't really. It's just like working with another person who's has ideas that you incorporate into something else. So
I think we should use AI. I know, like, we're very threatened by it, but like creatively, it's not going to be as good or maybe as creative. But like, there is ways where you can make your art better.
Oh yeah,
by using.
I love AI.
Yeah.
I use it every day, literally every day. It's my search.
But did you also see the thing where this one guy who's like a brain scientist? The more you use AI, the less your amygdala has to work, and the less your body has a reaction. So you get dumber. It's like the person, the Uber Eats driver that he might drive in New York City for 10 years, but because he used the app the whole time, he still doesn't know how to get around without the app. So there's a thing where you have to train your brain to learn this stuff. So that's why, like, if people that are using like AI to write simple stuff, don't do that. If it's a simple thing, write it yourself, even if it's kind of shitty, because like once you stop doing that skill, you'll lose it, and then you're not going to be able to write a sentence. And I have the trouble. Sometimes I'm like, because I have to write more than a paragraph, and it's just, if you use AI too much, it will make you dumb, but it will also make you look smarter if people don't know you're using it. So
yeah. I identify as tax exempt says, y'all was talking about the crazy rains. Look into the 2022 Hunga Tonga eruption. It increased the water content in the atmosphere by 20%.
Whoa.
Wow. Well,
Hunga Tonga.
That's catchy.
I like it.
Let's see. Real Warpig says, Phil is tired of hearing people wanting to put rich elite pedos in prison. WTF, dude? Aren't you a dad? Why don't you care about the victims? If you don't care about the list, you're sick too. Well, the point that I'm making.
Yeah, what is your point? Because I saw you arguing that, and I'm not even trying to debate you on it. But are you one of the guys on Twitter that are saying, I'm just trying to see if you're in that camp where it's not that important that it's old news?
No, I don't think. I think that if there's evidence to people actually doing something like that, arrest them, prosecute them. Yeah. I'm not saying that we should move on, but considering the fact that we're inundated with it, right? We've talked about Epstein every single night. I talked about Epstein for 2 hours today on the Culture War, and we talked about Epstein on 2 different topics tonight. There's nothing new to say about it. So for me, I'm like, well, we've covered this. We've covered this. We've talked about it, and so from my perspective, and this is only my perspective, I have said all that I have to say about it, and I'll just keep repeating myself over and over and over. So
I think that's fair. But to your point, what's even crazy is that I think we almost even knew more about it in 2016, in 2017, when like all the leaks originally happened, because it hadn't been whitewashed. Now, like, we hear the stories that I was hearing back then, and we can only say so much, but about like pizza parlors and this and that was some seriously dark stuff. And now when you talk about the subject, it's not as dark as it was. So I'd almost say that it's gotten, this issue is like, remember when the guy went to the Comet Ping Pong with a rifle.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That is when people were like really pissed. Like that was the kind of the breaking point of if you were in that the conspiracy world, you're like, we want answers. And there was more information about Jeffrey Epstein back then than you can find now. And I know that sounds crazy, but but there was.
I get what you're saying. But and to his point, this is important, very important to a very narrow group of people. There's two different groups of people that really, really care about.
Who's going to be really passionate?
Let me finish.
Victims of child sexual abuse.
The point that I'm making is there are people that are really passionate about it, that believe that there are a lot of people involved that have actually assaulted and abused a lot of children and whatnot. And then there are people that believe that Epstein is the key to uncovering the fact that that Israel controls the United States. Those two groups of people are the most passionate, and they just assume that everyone agrees that, oh, there's obviously hundreds of children that have been violated by hundreds of people. Personally, I think that Epstein, I mean, obviously he did do bad things with children. I don't think that it's as pervasive as some people do. I don't think that there's dozens of people that have been to Epstein Island that have abused hundreds of children. Now, I know that there are multiple of them that are, and if there's evidence that there's been more than I think, and that there are people that need to be indicted and arrested, absolutely. But the presumption that, oh, well, it's pervasive throughout the government and everybody that's in the bureaucracy is involved and it'll take down so many blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's the case.
Yo, just read this next one that I have right here. It's kind of doing the same it has to do with the same topic. So
okay, what is it? Leadlust. Leadlust says, "What do you think about Trump pardoning Julian Assange and Edward Snowden on the condition that they be the team to investigate Epstein with full clearance? Do you think people would believe the results?" I don't know.
I don't know if that would change their credibility if they did the investigation.
Like I said this today on The Culture War. I'm of the opinion that people that already have a formed opinion about the Epstein situation, unless you produce evidence that confirms their bias, they will not think that it's enough. So the people that are like, oh, it's all about Israel. Well, like, if you don't produce evidence that connects Israel to Epstein.
Well, the connection, though, Robert Maxwell, being Ghislaine Maxwell.
The point that I'm making is if you don't produce evidence that this is the linchpin that undoes in Israel's puppet mastering of the United States government, then it's not going to be enough for them. And if you don't produce evidence for the people that believe that there's, thousands of children that have been abused and stuff, if you don't produce evidence that confirms that, then it's not going to be enough for them. And though this is a very narrow group of people, and there's all kinds of, there's been multiple polls, and for the normie people, and I represent the normies on this particular case, the normies, this is not a top line topic for them. It's salacious, and people make a lot of noise about it because of the small group of people that are very committed and very, think that it's very important. But when it comes to the average American, they're concerned with kitchen table issues. And as boring as that is, that's what most people are worried about.
You know what I think happened, Phil? I think the interdimensional aliens came to your bedroom and they told you to stop talking about it.
And that's the standard too. It's like, oh, look, Phil has an opinion that is outside of what we consider acceptable, so Phil must be on the list too.
But Phil, I think you miss one huge pocket of people that the same reason they like the pedophile poachers content. A lot of people were sexually abused as a child, and so they want that justice. So somebody like Jeffrey Epstein goes down, just makes them sleep a little better at night, knowing that.
Jeffrey Epstein did go down, and Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison.
But if there's
more people,
Bill Clinton's on there, if Chris Tucker, if Kevin Spacey, I don't know who's on there, but people want to know because they want to know who is the people that are abusing children.
I mean, look. At no point have I said we should stop investigations or that they should just let the sleeping dogs lie. I'm just saying that from my perspective, talking about it every day when there's not actually new information, like the Wall Street Journal.
We haven't gotten any new information in the past 8 years.
There's nothing new. Really it's nothing. The Wall Street Journal thing that just came out. That's supposed to be a
that's
bombshell.
fake. Yeah,
and
maybe it was real.
is literally a nothing burger. So, anyways, listen up. Smash the like button. Share the show with your friends. Tell everyone you know. Go to timcast.com, become a member, and join us at rumble.com or become a member at rumble.com so you can check out our after show. We're going to wrap it up for tonight. So, Alex,
Pin
where
on
can they
a
find
Blimp.
you?
I'll be live next week. The Culture War Live, Gavin and Matan. It's going to be crazy. They tried to cancel us. They uncanceled it. So it's a show that they didn't want to happen, and it's going to happen. So I want to see you guys all there in DC. DCComedyLoft.com.
Hey, 6'7 Kevin, thanks for having me on the show. Check out my documentaries on YouTube at 6'7 Kevin. And of course, check out Sin Frontera on Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, live.
That's right. We'll have a score for that as well released. Number of songs with the documentary. It's a very awesome documentary, and definitely come out next weekend. I'll be there behind the scenes as well with Serge. Ian.
Yeah, man. I want to shout out Tyler, Today News. We did a show. That was really awesome, Tyler. So thanks for doing that. I'm going to be going live with Joey Cannoli on Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. on...
Who's Joey Cannoli?
Dude, he runs the Discord.
Oh, is he? I see. I've heard that name, Joey Cannoli. Okay, that's who it is. I was
The
like, that
heartbeat
sounds familiar.
of the essence of the tubes of the internet.
I was like, that sounds familiar. Well, yeah, shout out Joey Cannoli. Oh, and watch Primetime with Alex Stein on Blaze TV.
Yeah, if you haven't been on the blimp yet, check out that. Hey, Serge, and I love you.
Love you, Serge.
New haircut's looking pretty cool, man.
So check out Timcast clips all weekend, and we will see you guys back here on Monday.